boat sits. You can see a little notch there, and that just helps the boat run level and gets a little aeration under the boat to have it reduce friction, for lack of a better term, with the surface of the water.
Heading into the 3-pin turn.
That's a nice turn. No one's going to get inside that.
Still the
tough noogies and back in action.
Yeah, they're staying close to each other.
Yeah, tough noogies might have pulled ahead there, it looks like, with the tighter line. The Fuel1Team.com back out front. The Muratas have been racing for a while. We've seen them in a few different boats and bracket classes through the years.
Bracket class 600 boats will be coming around for their first lap. You can see the outbound leg. There's a spectator course, which it's not very far away. And as the day goes on, we get a lot of wave action, wash tub effect from these boats. And it can bump up a little bit. Well, I would say today is definitely less wind and flatter out there.
And there's not as much haze. It's a much clearer day. So that should, the engine should like that better because there's not as much wetness and mist in the air. Tough Noogies has pulled ahead a little bit on back in action, but they're not making up ground on Fuel One Team, rather, excuse me.
Big spectator fleet already building as we look overhead at Tough Noogies, Matt Ressa and Gavin Jafarian out of Haverhill Hill, Massachusetts, a 30-foot superboat with Saris racing engines.
Yep, the Saris boys will be in Key West in 2 boats this year. Johnny and Jason will run their Scorpion, and then Johnny will be with in the moderation boat. Can't remember the owner's name right now, I apologize.
So back to our overall leaders, and you can see trailing off to the left side of the screen, the boats following in bracket class 600.
Still looks like the Black Defender MDG Fuel 1 is out front. Let's see if we can keep an eye on that. Here comes the Cat 300 boat, the Argo. Rigged at Manatee Marine Unlimited. And the throttleman, Julian Maldonado, is a co-owner of that company. So he's basically in these boats all the time.
Yeah, they say these boats can run up to 100 miles an hour, but it's a little light at that speed. A little dicey.
Conversely, this is a Cadillac ride for the 30-foot superboat with the big Saris big block in it. They look like they're getting a very smooth ride, and they're being very well-tempered, trying not to chase down the leaders, staying within their bracket. I'm not sure I could do that.
Yeah.
If I'm racing someone, I'm going to use as much performance as I can to try to pass them.
So in the Fuel1Team.com, Damon Murata Jr. and Sr. from Port Everglades and the Warlock with the Carolina Racing engines continues to lead after lap number 2 of 7. Tough Noogies has moved up to second, back in action in third. Ahead of the Murata team. Bracket class racing brings back nostalgic boats, great historic boats, puts them back into offshore racing competition.
When the Fuel 1 team ran as bulletproof and good cars, I remember they had suspension seats in that boat. I think it was the only one in the class. I'm not sure if it still has them, but that would certainly smooth out the ride when the water does get rough.
Tough Noogies continue to hold down second here. A couple laps in out of 7.
Yep, there's MDG Fuel 1 leading, we believe, leading bracket 600. And they should be on, the C boat, the Cat 300 boat was just down in the middle of the course. Maybe a Guardian issue. Let's see if they get back running again. But I would think bracket 600 would be on the same lap as the 500 boats.
Yeah, the 500 boats, open cockpit, V-bottom only, single stern drive boats, naturally aspirated engines, bracketed speed 70 miles per hour.
.30-foot superboat built on Long Island, also a single step. The step's a little farther back. You can see it just basically under where the rear seat would be when the boat gets up and running a little high. Let's see if Tough Noogies, I mean, it looks to me like they're trying to make a run here. Maybe the Murata's slowed down a little, or Tough Noogies is just running right on the speed limit. And they've definitely closed the gap.
So if you're new to bracketed class racing, the throttle, I mean, in any offshore boat, you have a driver and the throttle man, one handling the steering of the boat, the other the trim and the propulsion. And it looks like Tough Noogies made some distance there.
It looks like they may have made a pass.
And is the Fuel 1 boat slowing? It appears.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if something's going on there.
Well, you know, back to bracketed class racing. I mean, are they exceeding the speed limit?
Right.
We won't know until they turn their V-box chip in and see. But it appears that the Muratas are picking up speed again.
And the way the rules work with the brackets is like whoever breaks out or exceeds 75 miles an hour the least number of times,
70, right?
They're the ones that will be penalized the least number of times and should be the ones that win the race.
So the throttleman is watching that GPS and
Yep.
it has to keep that speed right underneath whatever the speed limit is. And now they're deck to deck.
And this is where it becomes really tough to not just say, okay, well, I want to beat this guy. So this is where the discipline of bracket class racing really comes into it. But it still looks like a good battle.
It's a great battle, and they were a good 8-9 boat lengths back when they came into this lap, and now they've pulled up side to side. And as they head into the turn, looks like Tough Noogies might have the tighter line around.
Yeah, just see if they can hold that line. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they
still
do.
a rookie team, but those superboats do turn very well, especially that 30.
Yeah, the Muratas are going to dive in and cross the wake and
See if they can dive to the pin on the exit. Maybe set up something for the far end if they can pull alongside. We did just see the Cat 300 boat is out of the race. The hatch is up and the guys are sitting on top of the canopy. So tough day for them. Julian gets 2 more shots in super stock and factory stock later today. So
they ran a couple of laps, and knowing that he's got, you know, triple duty, they may have called it a day.
yeah, they may have. And Connor Langheim, who drives the boat, will want to run in Key West for sure. So maybe they're just thinking, let's save the equipment. But you can't blame them. But this,
It appears that they have fallen into second. You can see
Yeah.
the wake
you can see the wake
on the inside of the boat, and Tough
Tough
Noogies
Noogies
is
is
your
out
leader.
front. And if I'm not mistaken, they won their debut race in Michigan City after all the bracketology was worked out. Saris Racing engines were all on the podium in Michigan City, so I guess we're going to have to find out the origin of the name. Okay, so we've got, yep, Fuel 1. Oh, the standings for the season. Back in Action was in 2nd place, and Tough Noogies was in 3rd. So we'll have to see how this plays out for points as well.
Yep, the national point standings and the trophies being handed out tonight at the awards at Marina Cantina here in Clearwater, 6 to 7:30. It does look like Tough Noogies continues to lead in this bracket 500 class. We have 7 boats out on the course, watching bracket class 500 racing right now.
They would be finishing their 4th lap. Correct?
That's right.
So this would be their first complete lap in the lead. But the Marauders aren't letting them go. They're trying to keep them in range.
Big Pine Key, Florida, another team from the home of the World Championships, which has been known to have a lot of race teams tour the National Series. Jimmy Jensen paired up with Bobby Kyber,
right now
who's a longtime racer, now running his own boat along with Darren Throkeld, 30-foot Phantom with the 600 Merc.
And it's good to see that the guys in the framed boat from Key West were able to get that out of the water and emptied after they had a hull fracture, basically.
Yep.
Started taking on water yesterday. They were very grateful to the tow teams and the response teams for getting that boat back to the pits and getting it on the crane.
Yep, one of 3 teams here in Clearwater out of the home of the World Championships, including Island Escapes, which is running currently in bracket class 600.
Yep.
So Tough Noogies comes through on lap number 4, continuing to lead here now. Fuel 1 team in second, back in action in third.
And Fuel 1 is keeping them close. They're keeping them honest. Now, when you have the bigger classes later in the day, a lot of those boats will have people on shore with communication telling them where the other boats are, because these guys can turn around and see. Even, with the full face helmet, they can still kind of turn around and get a peek at where their competition is. So they don't really need the on-land spotters.
Following our leaders right now in bracket class 500. Lindsay of X Insurance flying the X Insurance Helicam, giving us aerial shots throughout today's action at the Clearwater Nationals.
And here's MDG Fuel 1 leading class 600. That's the end of their 4th lap as well, I believe. It looks like Velocity Powerboats in second place. We'll see when they make the turn and come by, but that looks like the 26 Velocity with Scott McCormick and Bob Spitulski. Now we're back to the battle for the lead in 500 because it's not done.
Putting on the show today, Tough Noogies, huh?
Yeah, the boat looks great. Brand new boat this year.
Oh, great shot.
That tells you even in quote-unquote calm water, you still get tousled around in a turn, especially if you're hitting wakes, and it's never as smooth as you think. And I'll guarantee you get out of a boat and you always think the guy that you were racing against, why do you look like you were running so smooth and we were getting banged around? Yep, this is the Team Velocity boat. The white boat to your left is chasing the MDG Fuel 1, which is a 26 Protector. It's a pretty rare hull with very interesting deck lines. You'll see when it comes by, it kind of drops just behind the driver and the co-pilot. Almost looks like it's where you'd have a gun sticking out, since it's called a Protector. But this boat is a derivative of the Velocity Velociraptor. And I believe the kind of low profile that ran in Factory 1 as well and was real popular. Scott McCormick, the president of Velocity, has done a good job of getting more boats out, and he recently bought the molds for Checkmate powerboats.
Tough Nuggies has spread its lead just a bit here as we've gone a couple laps since they've taken first place.
Yeah, this is finishing lap 5.
Yep. It's 5 of 7.
And here's back in action. The Phantoms do very well in this class, and in many of the bracket classes, really. So good to see these boats out here running. Sarasota-based manufacturer, Phantom Powerboats. Will Smith. Fuel One team. Little chine walk there, getting caught in the wakes. That gave Tough Noogies a chance to open up its lead.
You can see how close that yellow buoy, the inbound and outbound legs are.
Yeah.
The spectator fleet on the
outside.
Yeah, the outside, the west side of the course. And there you'll see the Class 600 boats now coming across and heading towards the start-finish line. And then finally, we did a look at
well, here's the Islandscapes boat. This is the only outboard power boat in Class 600.
Assy Jotlik and Jaime Trujillo, Key West, Florida, with a 450R on that 23 Hiari, Manatee Marine.
This is the Fuel One MDG. The Gavados family builds and rigs, do a lot of custom work on high-performance boats in the Chesapeake Bay area. Dave Gavados has been doing this stuff a long time. Jason's dad, very respected engine builder and rigger. Jason certainly has it things going well right now. Never like to jinx anybody.
Chasing down the Velocity.
The innovation-powered Velocity 26. Bob Spitulski, the former NFL linebacker, played many years for the Seahawks. So you hope that you don't do anything to upset him. He is a big dude, but always makes a point to come up and say hello. One of the nicest guys you'll meet in the pits.
In the boat with Scott McCormick. So we get an overhead view of the north end of the course. Again, 3 pins on each end. There's Velocity once again. Scott McCormick. Innovation Marine Power, 600 horse.
Sarasota company. Been around a long time, and they have a whole other division they can't tell you about because everything they do is for the military. But they do some pretty cool stuff down there that a lot of people don't get to see. But MDGs coming into the south end of the course. Looks to be comfortably where they want to be. Let's see if Spitulski and McCormick can put up a charge. Well, we're hearing that back in action might have missed a buoy, but I don't think it would be very impactful because they're running in third anyway out of 3 boats. So,
Steam Velocity again. That wouldn't change their place, of course. All of this is subject to their data cards being read by race inspection, checking them for breakouts. This is the one class we have to say, unofficial results at the end. They're notorious for having 1 or 2 breakouts in each class, and sometimes as many as 10, which is maddening for race scores because you have to go through all the tiebreakers. But they did change the rule on the breakout.
Right. It used to be
that.
For earlier this year, it was basically 0 tolerance. If you broke out, you were done. Now you get a couple of seconds basically to get it back in. And like we talked about before, the fewest number of breakouts would give you the best chance of winning. These are the guys out of, you got to say this right, like you're from outside of Boston. It's Haverhill.
Haverhill. Well,
it's not Haverhill.
Haverhill. Thank you. Well, I mean, you're one of those yahoos from up northeast, so you should know, right? I'll leave it to you.
Yahoo, huh?
Yeah, Yahoo. My buddy Eric Colby. We will welcome you to Key West very soon, my friend.
Looking forward to it as always. And here's the guys from Chesapeake Bay. Jason Gavados, Mike McColgan. If the name McColgan sounds familiar, he also runs the, he drives the Rum Runners. No, he doesn't drive Rum Runners, I don't think. No, that's Tom Crowley. Mike McColgan runs when the boat runs, he runs a Kryptonite in one of the other bracket classes. But here's Islandscapes.
Boat from Manatee Marine.
Yep. That's an H-Craft, isn't it?
Yeah, H-Craft. Cassie Jotlick and Jaime Trujillo from Key West.
And
beautiful livery on that. The paint.
It's a pretty paint job.
Isn't it? I really like that.
Twin step hull. And it's almost a center console look. You can see the way they're very tight side by side.
They can multi-purpose that and take it out to the sandbars and the Keys, you know. Get a good shot of Islandscapes. Welcome to offshore racing.
Second race for them. It looks to me like I would have them in third.
Agreed.
And bracket 600. We'll have to see.
I don't see much of there's team first responders. 609.
The interesting thing is, this is where it's getting confusing for us. 609 and 611 both actually have 611 on the side.
That's right. Okay.
So,
yeah, the ultimate racing experience boat, known as the Bat boat for many years. It's unusual one design wing formation, astern. Got Charlie Widener and Bruce Dudley. It's got 350 Volvo Penta power in it.
All right, this is what the nickname for this design is, a bat boat, and it's almost like having, you know, I don't want to say training wheels, but you know, those fins do dig in a turn and keep it from getting upended worse than a bad chime walk. It'll settle the boat down, and that's designed by a gentleman over in Sweden named Aki Mannerfeld, who many people built their own iterations of the quote-unquote bat boat. And here's Tough Noogies, hands in the air.
Yeah, they're
unofficial winners.
Yep, they're claiming victory, and the checker flag is out for Tough Noogies, Matt Reska and Gavin Jafarian, 30-foot super boat with the Saris racing engine. Saris wins again.
So since they're from Massachusetts, they're like wicked happy right now, dude.
Bless you. Thank you for taking the lead there. Second place will go to the fuel1team.com. Damon Murata Jr. and Damon Murata Sr. in the 29 Warlock with Caroline Racing Power.
Yep. Fuel One team. Nice run. You finish on the podium and you can drive your own boat back to the docks. It's a good day.
That's right. And back in action, the team from Big Pine Key, Florida, taking third. And we'll look to see more from these teams at the 44th Annual Key West World Championships. 3 days of racing the first week in November. And here is our finish in bracket class 600.
Yeah, Defender is holding its lead. MDG, rather, Fuel One. They've got the Fuel One sponsorship this weekend. So the Team Velocity is trying to make a run on them, but I don't think it's going to happen for them today. Yep, they just crossed. There's the checkered flag. So well done for Jason and Mike. Fuel One team, pretty good spending for their promotions. A first place and a second. And there's Team Velocity.
to our winners in bracket class 600. There's the bat boat again.
Team
Ultimate
first
racing
responders.
experience. Team first responders, and it looks like they're potentially in position to have third. We'll see where they are in relation to Islandscapes.
One of the very few boats in offshore racing with a Volvo Penta outdrive. I believe it's a dual prop or a DPX, but it is a twin prop drive. Yeah, I'm curious to see where Islandscapes might be. Oh, Islandscapes had a Guardian issue, so now it looks like they're back up and running, but it looks like first responders probably got around them to take the final spot on the podium. So good for them. The first responders team, this is not their only venture. They're involved in NASCAR. They have a Formula One tunnel boat. They go to the Children's Hospital and use the bat boat, and they're in parades. So very
Underlying high.
very much involved in charity.
Yeah. Waving the checkered flag after a 2-lap standalone race for them. But the Langheims are passionate.
You toughed that one out, Connor.
Handing out the checkered flag now to the Tough Noogies team.
Yeah, Julian Maldonado must have been watching the live stream after they pulled off the course, because he texted me and said, not broken down, just pulled off because we don't want to disturb anyone's race, and we're not racing anymore.
As you can see, we have a bit of a breeze now coming around. Nothing significant, but at least to cool us off as we get a shot of Islandscapes. Casey Jotlik and Jaime Trujillo from Key West got that 450R running after a guarding issue. They'll take fourth here in bracket class 600. So all of our boats across. These are winner in bracket class 500 here.
Well done.
Good showing of bracketed class racers here in Clearwater. And that's going to do it over the 2 days. Finish up.
For them to haul down here to Clearwater to race from Massachusetts could be an indicator that they felt like they needed to qualify to make sure they could go to Key West.
Looking at the historic Pier 60, fans lining up there to watch the race. That's at the very south end of the course. And X Insurance, Neil Melius and Rick Lindsay aboard, giving us the great shots from the air. Good, sir. X Insurance, Helicam. We'll be showing more shots throughout the day as we have great action coming up. Factory stock, Mod V on the way. The amazing beaches here in Clearwater go on endlessly. And that's the course right there. As you look in the middle of the screen, that is the south turn there. Hands right off of the beach. Fans line up and down this 5-mile course and watch these races. So we're going to be back with a lot more action, recap what's going on the rest of the day. Here from the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, we'll be back after these words.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
To me, being a mountain guide is just the greatest opportunity to share my passion for skiing and climbing with people who are new to it. My main goal out there is to take care of and shepherd other people through the mountains, make sure that they don't get hurt, they don't get into trouble, guide them to places they always wanted to go but needed the skill set and knowledge of a guide to help them in accomplishing that goal. And then come back safe. No 2 days are ever the same in the mountains. Everything changes, the weather, the avalanche hazards. Not everything is really perfectly safeguarded. The mountains are an uncertain place. So it's a fine line, but I think when you can trust somebody and you do push them to a higher level, it's really rewarding. Ultimately, it's not a question of if any accident's ever going to happen if you're doing a lot of mountain guiding, but it's when. The knowledge that we have a really strong partner in our insurance company is essential. I'm helping my clients achieve great things in the mountains, achieve their goals in the mountains, and that's what X Insurance does for me. They were there for us when we needed them. They're providing an opportunity for us to go out and guide mountain climbing and backcountry skiing in the beautiful Wasatch Range, and that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable at all doing without a great insurance company behind us. I know that I can trust them and I can go forward with confidence.
X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, looking off to the Gulf here from Clearwater Beach. So we get back into national class racing here this afternoon. The factory stock 500 boats and the Mod V boats will be out racing here real soon. Had a nice bracket class race to get things started here for the fans, Eric.
Yeah, now we step into the fully enclosed boats for the rest of the day, and the professional classes, and we'll start with the factory stock boats. And
got action from earlier today here to go over, Eric.
Yep. Let's see what we've got coming up from highlights from earlier today. El Bandito, after they had their wild ride, but this is the El Bandito tequila boat, formerly as Sunprint, many people know it. Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman, and they will be running in the Mod V class, and there are 5 boats running in the class. We had more registered, but Tom Madalena, who throttles the Relentless boat, his sister unexpectedly went in the hospital a couple of days ago. So the Relentless boat and the Punisher boat both withdrew. So we want to give our best wishes to Tom and his sister. But it would have been nice to see those Spartan V-bottoms and Mod V.
Sure.
Charlie McCarthy's new design and build.
Before we get on with our next race, let's see what happened earlier here today with bracket class racing. As we continue on this afternoon, we saw the mini jackhammers speeding off in front of the bracketed class 500 boats.
A little red missile.
Yeah, back in action.
But good racing all through the 7 laps in the bracket 500 class. Tough Noogies started with running alongside back in action, but pulled away from them and then hunted down the Marauders in the 29 Warlock to take a well-earned win unofficially.
But the Marauders had control of the race early.
Yeah.
The Fuel 1 team.
But
this is where they went around and got the inside line on them and didn't relinquish the lead after that.
So they're gaining experience, and for that class, that's one of the bigger boats So you could expect them to do well in Key West when it gets rough between 1 and 2.
Is our official, well, unofficial, really. Obviously, we stressed that. They've got to read those data cards, but it was Tough Noogies Fuel 1 team back in action. 1, 2, 3 here this afternoon.
And while we're giving out best wishes, the American Custom Marine Extreme Boat was supposed to be here, but Chris Uzi had a little bit of an upside down move in a boat and is healing up. Unofficial brackets: 600 MDG Fuel 1. First responders came in second, and Velocity Powerboats was second, and first responders was third, unless someone broke out. There was some confusion with the numbers of the boats. That's why that looked a little off. But up next now we'll do the Mod Vs.
Yep. And right now, Tristan Garvin is standing by, a third member of our broadcast team, with a report down from the pits.
Hey everyone, it's Tristan. I'm here in Clearwater, race day 2. We're putting boats in the water down here at the crane. The weather's beautiful, 85 degrees, a little bit of a wind, but the water's laid down out on the race course. These guys seem excited to go out there. Much better water than yesterday, I should say. Everyone seems like they've got their head in the game. Can't wait to see what they do. Let's go racing.
Great shot from the pit area down there. They moved the dry and wet pits down to the Sand Key Park area, which is much closer to the race course. You see our spectator fans lining up here in the Gulf off of Clearwater, Florida, and some of our Mod V boats heading out to the course. We saw El Bandito Yankee Tequila earlier, and this the Safe Cash X Insurance team.
Pennsylvania-based team. You want to go ahead and do the rundown for Mod V?
We have factory stock 500 boats that'll be coming out as well.
Yep. So that's still Rick Robb and Scott Jobin and Safe Cash, the 32 Phantom.
Yep. The Mod V boats will be racing with the factory stock 500s, and here's a little insider report on what factory stock 500 racing is all about.
Factory stock class, so we run a factory Mercury 500R. We run factory Mercury propellers, just like you would put on a pleasure boat. And our hull has to be factory produced. You have to be able to buy this hull in a pleasure boat or stock format. It's our 39 MTI hull, same as our pleasure boat. You're able to actually run these boats in the races, and you could also take it poker running. They have 3 seats you could add in the back. We can just basically insert the seat sections, and you can go pleasure boating for the weekend if you like. Pull it all out and go to the races, pass tech, pass safety, and get out here and go compete.
So factory stock racing, they moved up from the factory 450R engines last year. Now the boats are all running the Mercury Racing Factory 500Rs. And there's a double shot of Jackhammer for you. I think Julian's going to jump off of that boat and get on the factory stock 500 boat you see at the top of the screen. And they've got him on board. So we look over at the Wozencraft boat that Julian will be throttling later in super stock class. So the jump up to the 500s, and a lot of the boats are still carrying the gear cases from the 450 because they have the better propeller selection, which they built up over the last couple of years. I think the Jackhammer boat just went ahead and went with because they hadn't raced this class before. They kept the 500 gear case, and some think that that's somewhat of an advantage because it has a better water pickup on the newer model.
It is a bigger diameter, but it's more robust because it has larger gears inside, so it should be more durable. But that larger diameter can result in some tail lift, so that's why some of the guys still like the smaller diameter from the 450, along with the obviously having all their props that they already were using.
Looking down on a super stock boat, pardon me, that you're going to see later on today. That's a Victory hull. As we head back out to the course, and the Mod V boat's now heading out to the milling area to get started. And the factory stock boats and Mod Vs will start. 2 different pace boats will move up and get these boats going. And
want to grab the lanes or not yet?
We're gonna thank some of our sponsors that helped us bring on this race here in Clearwater, the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, Race World Offshore. I'd like to thank our first responders, United States Coast Guard, City of Clearwater Police, Fire and EMS, Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, the RWO Safety and Rescue Crew, SSR Safety, and Florida Fish and Wildlife, as well as X Insurance, of course. Visit stpeteclearwater.com. Escape to Paradise, Florida's Gulf Coast, St. Pete, Clearwater. Baystar Restaurants really helps us put on this race, as well as our sponsors, Sunoco Race Fuels, Maximum Inflation, Southern Race Fuels, Porte Products, Hydraulic Transom Lift Bracket. And when we come back, we'll get you set with the teams in Mod V and Factory Stock 500. Back after this.
Family first. That's just the way I look at it. And the family, my friends and employees are the ones that helped me get to what we are today. We are first responder, emergency roadside, major incidents, recovery incidents with the Highway Patrol, Department of Transportation, and our family and employees goes into a risk every day. There's no way that we can run a towing company without insurance. What I look for an insurance company is a company that can be partners with me and support when the unfortunate happens. Unfortunately, I did have a small incident last year. X Insurance got involved step by step, helped me how to get to it, pay the losses, make sure that I was secure, make sure that equipment was correct, make sure that I was where I needed to be to go back to work. I didn't have to worry about nothing in my business because my insurance was handling the loss and it was right on top of the money. I can continue to worry about my business, worry about my staff, my family, and let the insurance do what they do best. As long as I stay in business, we will need insurance company.
Resume coverage of the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. Factory Stock 500 and Mod V teams are getting set to race here in our second start of the day. Coming up later on, we've got Super Cat, Super Stock, and Pro Class 1 teams. And we're going to head back to Tristan Collins, third member of our broadcast team, Tristan Garvin, who is joining us from the pits right now.
Hey guys, you just came back from your race. How did you do?
Unbelievable. We didn't get the best start. We're drew the furthest outside on the pole and passed both boats in the corners and made up for lost ground, got in the lead, and we just held it there.
Yeah, so last race we had a little trouble with the gauges and such, so we did a little testing, changed the dash around, and I think we got it dialed now. So that was the most fun thing ever.
Congratulations, guys.
All right,
Tough noogies.
Yep.
Got another win.
Congratulations to the Tough Noogies team, and they'll be getting their trophies tonight. Of course, we still have to have them clear inspection, make sure there were no breakouts, and hopefully there won't be any noogies on stage if they do eventually take home that cup.
Well, they are both bigger than you.
They
and
are.
You're the and you're the MC of the awards. So
I'll be standing back, standing away from the Tough Noogies guy. All right, factory stock 500 coming up, and the Mod Vs. Let's talk about these boats and our grid here for today in boat classes.
All right, in factory stock, lane 1 is GC Racing, the MTI with Willie Cabeza and Throttleman Grant Bruggeman. Lane 2 is Meade Family Racing, another MTI. The entry says Caleb Meade driving, John Tomlinson throttling, but John Tomlinson just texted me. He's going to be on the wheel teaching Caleb how to throttle the boat during the race.
How about that? Yeah.
And then Jackhammer, the 38 Valor Cat built in Dubai with owner-driver Reese Langheim, Julian Maldonado on the throttles.
So you see the orange smoke. Obviously it means the boats are told to get ready to get set and get into starting position. GC Racing is the high point leader in the national standings heading into today's race.
Meade Family is not far behind, I don't believe.
Not too far, not at all. Get a chance to get our lineup of Mod V boats that are out here while we have an opportunity, because these boats will get ready to get started here. They're very fast. Speeds up to 125 miles an hour, almost as fast as Super Cats.
So lane 1 for Mod V is Speed Marine, Kyle Miller and Jay Waltman. Lane 2, Statement X Insurance, JJ Turk, Nick Buis. Lane 3, X Insurance Safe Cash. Lane 4, El Bandito Tequila. Lane 5 is boatfloater.com, and we will get some of the names and backstories of those boats once we're covering the Mod Vs during the race. We want to make sure we don't miss this start.
These boats come out of the mold. They cannot be modified. We have marine technology hulls and a Valor Cat, which is a little bit longer. That's on the outside and on the right side of your screen here, paired with the Mercury Racing 500R engines. These boats have got the green flag and the race is on. So you see GC Racing and Meade Family Racing running side by side. Appears that Jackhammer got the inside lane. No, that's right, they're coming southbound, pardon me. GC's got the inside lane.
Yeah, let's see, and they defended it well yesterday. If the names sound familiar and if the livery looks familiar, they won the Class 1 race yesterday from the pole position.
Right, looking right down the tunnels. These are very wide body catamarans, 72-inch tunnels that they compress the air down. And GC on the left side of your screen, Meade to the right.
Let's see how Caleb and Johnny do in the roll reversal going into their first turn together. I wonder if they were in those positions when they were testing this morning.
Take the first turn on the south end of the course, 3-pin turn, and GC has the lead. Driving to the inside now, Jackhammer.
Yeah, the combination in this boat, Julian Maldonado and Reese Langheim, lots of seat time together, and they're not shy about taking an inside line. So
GC Racing has the lead. Remember, they raced yesterday in Pro Class 1 and took a first place finish. Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggeman from Grant Signature Racing in Bradenton, Florida. Veteran throttleman and crew chief, working up and down the classes. We look now at our start of Mod V teams, the naturally aspirated single engine boats that range from 29 extreme hulls to 32-foot Phantoms.
And the only one I could tell was Speed Marine way on the inside because of that bright green paint job. I'm not sure where everybody else is, or let's see.
They're just
if
coming
we
up
can
to
pick them up here.
Their official start here. Appears they have been released, and gives the boats a good amount of water to kind of spread out before they all dive into the turn, Eric. And Speed
Marine and X Insurance Statement are running basically side by side. Then a few lanes out is El Bandito Tequila with owner Steve Miklos on the throttles and Stephen Furman driving.
It's good to see El Bandito stuck to the water.
Yes, much better than the last time we saw them.
Catapult corkscrew through the air, 20 feet high. And fortunately, Steve Furman, not injured in that.
We just saw a whole lot of the top of Speed Marine taking the inside lane in that turn. Let's make sure that we don't see anything.
Checking out our overall leader, factory stock 500. That's GC Racing.
39 MTI. One of the boats of choice in this class the last couple of years.
On the chase on the inside is the 40-foot Valor from Manatee Marine. Reese Lingheim and Julian Maldonado.
This should be the end of lap 1 for them.
Turn that lap at 2 minutes 55 seconds, 107 miles an hour. Jackhammer in second, Mead Family Racing in third, leading lap number 1.
There's a good look overhead at the new Valor Cat.
It's the longest of the boats that race in factory stock, 40 feet. Jackhammer 3 seconds back of the leader, and Mead Family 6 seconds back with Caleb Mead on the throttles and John Tomlinson on the wheel. You heard us right. First time. Look at the boat from Manatee Marine.
Got a good attitude. It's carrying well.
So if you're new to offshore powerboat racing, these catamarans pack air down the tunnel, compress air, get as much lift as they can. The idea is to keep the nose down but not stuck to the water. You want to see the rear quarter of the boat touching the water. As much as they can get it out of the water and not let it fly, that's how they get their top speeds. It's tricky when they get in the bump.
Yep.
And the throttlement really comes into play. Good shot of Mead Family Racing out of Texas. Watch our...
Let's see how they do through the turn here. If Reese tries to get aggressive. No, he's taking a wide line. Willie's defending well in the GC Racing, driving that boat. I talked to Grant Bruggeman yesterday and said with all the test time they do and running the two boats together, it's like they have a full season in 6 months because they test a lot.
The jackhammer was slowing up a little bit. I think they may have had a guardian issue there. It's all maneuvering, trying to dive to the inside, and then they came off the throttles. Here's your leader, GC Racing.
And Mead Family is coming up on the inside of Jackhammer now. Looks like they're going to take second place. Let's see when they come down to the finish line here at the end of lap 2. Yep, Mead Family is pulled ahead. So it looks like Caleb Mead's a pretty quick study on the throttles.
Jackhammer definitely backed off a little bit. They seem to be back up to speed, though. They look like they're running, but Mead may be pulling from them as well. And if you're new to powerboat racing, these teams, they want to try and stay out of the aerated water, the churn that's trailing the boat in front of them. And you'll see Mead Family here, they kind of go to the inside of that. Sometimes you got to dip through the wake and get to the inside. Jackhammer 8 seconds back of the leader. Mead Family 5 seconds back of GC Racing, who is leading in factory stock here. Speed Marine has the lead in Mod V off camera. X Insurance in second, and El Bandito in third. 3 second lead for Speed Marine.
But GC Racing, it looks like they have the factory stock race in command right now.
Got that boat flying just right, but still As we get a shot now back at our Mod V boats, they're all within 7 seconds of the leader, which is Speed Marine out of Brick, New Jersey. There we are on top of that 29 Extreme, powered by Speed Marine's powerful engine.
They built their own motors
throttle for wheelman Kyle Miller.
Oh, but JJ Turk doing what JJ does, taking the inside line. Let's see if he can shorten up the course for him.
It's Insurance in second, El Bandito with Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman in third. Finishing up lap number 2, and
now the factory stock boats are getting caught up in the traffic from the Mod Vs. But El Bandito is pulling alongside right now, inside of everybody. So it'll be interesting to see if he has to come back out at all to make the buoy to not miss anything. But Stephen Furman certainly hasn't gotten shy after their inside lane maneuver that upended them at a previous race.
So as Eric mentioned, looks like we're going to at some point have some traffic when the faster catamaran boats are going to be coming up on these V-bottoms. About 20-25 miles per hour difference between those boats. And here they come.
At GC Racing, the faster boats are supposed to pass on the outside when there's multiple classes on the course at the same time. And they're doing just that. But in these classes, they usually do have spotters on land telling them, hey, so-and-so's coming up. And so the Mod V teams will have their spotters telling them, yeah, the faster boats, the factory stock boats are coming up, so just keep an eye open.
GC used that traffic to their advantage. Look at Miklos turning sharply and staying close to the pin, trying to make up some distance on X Insurance and Speed Marine. But that traffic really helped out GC Racing, as now Me Family's got to get around these boats.
That's Safe Cash. That's the 32 Phantom X Insurance Safe Cash. So they would probably be fourth. Boat Floater off the pace compared to what we've been seeing most of this year.
Boat Floaters had a very successful season. It'll be the last year they campaigned their boat, Safe Cash. And then Boat Floater, that's a 2004 Mark Spates built Extreme. Father and son team from Sarasota, Steve and Stephen Kildaw, and they'll have a new boat from Britt Lilly's LSP Powerboats in Arnold, Maryland, a new 29 Extreme debuts next year. And a real battle going on in Mod V here, with X Insurance pulling up on side of your leader, Speed Marine, and nosing ahead here. And look at El Bandito inside, heading for the pin. So Speed Marine falls back.
Yeah, this is...
and now into third.
It looks like this is at the north end of the court? No, south.
Yeah, it's at the north end, pretty sure. Yes.
Okay.
And you can see the wash of the factory stock boats and almost onto his side.
Yep.
Nick Buis and JJ Turk and gonna have to try and get out of that churn from those factory stock boats once they get around that third pin.
But they have taken the lead.
Yeah.
Speed Marine just went way wide. It makes you wonder if maybe they're not having an issue, or they just got caught in the junk, all the wakes and everything, and they didn't have a choice.
See, pretty calm. It's a little bit of a chop with an outgoing tide right now here in Clearwater, Florida. And here comes our leader in factory stock, GC Racing. Turn that lap unofficially 112.9.
Willie Cabeza is just getting better and better with experience behind the wheel.
Our Mod V boats are following behind the top three. GC with a 10-second lead over Mead Family and 14 over Jackhammer. now, the X Insurance Helicam.
Whoa.
And
Yes, El Bandito just got past X Insurance.
they got out of shape there.
Yeah, everybody did. But now it looks like El Bandito at the end of, I've got the end of lap 3, just took the lead.
Went from 3rd to 1st.
There's definitely an element of needing to get back on the horse for the Steven team.
Well, look at that. Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman. And
Checking out. No, they're not checking out by any means.
No, but they have the lead.
Yes, they do.
Over the defending world champion in Mod V.
Yep.
Those are both 29 extremes. In fact, all 3 boats at the top of the field so far are all extreme hulls, and you got to wonder what happened with Speed Marine as they fell off the pace here. But still holding on to 3rd, and after their incident a few weeks ago, these guys are trying to get this boat running. They got Scorpion power in.
Yep. And they tried to restart it after their corkscrew move, but thought better of it, and then the safety team basically came over and said, when you've done something like that, you're going to get checked out.
And boy, you could see the slop in the water there from all of the boats that
the aerated water and but the Steven have this one. The boat looks good. The balance looks good. I know Scott Porte had to make a couple of small repairs to the bottom.
That's right.
Because the boat did land on its bottom, which was the best thing that could have happened in that incident.
The Steve Miklos always takes it over to Scott. Scott has his Porte patented running surface, the Porte's running surface on that boat.
The only one in the class with that. And that was the last, if I'm correct, that's the last Mark Spates built.
That's right.
Extreme.
And it was the first one with the new deck on top. Me Family Racing 10 seconds behind GC Racing, 13 seconds behind his Jackhammer as GC Racing continues to lead and continue to turn laps at 112 plus.
Yeah, here's Speed Marine. They don't look like anything's wrong. They just got past. So we'll check with them later.
El Bandito, Yankee Tequila continuing to lead. Speed Marine back to 3rd after leading the first couple of laps here.
It's not like Jay Walton's not usually at a loss for words, so they're a great interview. So I'm sure they'll tell us everything that happened. But
these boats deploy big racing tabs astern.
Yep. They have the trim tabs, and many of them have them straight across rather than in line with the V. It's more of a preference thing, but you can see the tabs. Those are I believe those are 380 SK planes made by Mercury Racing. The 280s are the shorter ones.
Now El Bandito has
pulled out.
They distanced themselves. This boat here is poised to win the national championship with this performance up to this race.
It's kind of their home waters with Nick Buis coming from Madeira Beach.
Back to boatfloater.com. This boat, one of the original 6 Smart Space Generation 1 boats that was built. And again, the Kildaws will be upgrading to boat built by Britt Lilly. All of his modern
building sport boats.
Yeah, building sport boats. He's actually putting his first performance boat together soon.
Yep.
JJ Turk and
Nick Buis. Owner of Statement Marine.
JJ Turk Family Racing has come up through the bracketed class races. There goes GC Racing continuing to lead.
I have that as completing the halfway point for factory stock, lap 5.
It's lap 5.
I think.
GC Racing, they've got that boat running just beautifully today.
Now it's just a matter of keeping it going to complete the laps. Need family. You want to say comfortably in second, but Jackhammer's only 4 seconds behind, so.
The family 10 seconds off the pace of GC Racing, moving to the center, towards the center of your screen. Wide shot. You see the spectator fleet there on the west side of the course. We're now back to the X Insurance Helicam. We'll try and get a shot of our leaders here for you. And there you see El Bandito Yankee Tequila
This should
stretching
be the end
out
of,
their
this,
lead.
This should be the end of their 4th lap, I believe.
Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman. Inside that cockpit, they have quite a bit of technology gathering data. They have IMUs in there. Pulled a 24G mark at a Key West race a couple of years ago. Some really rough water. Of course, these boats bounce pretty hard.
Yes, they do. Being so narrow.
Engines very much in the category of the Super Cats, naturally aspirated. You can build your own engines. X Insurance 7.5 seconds behind El Bandito. Speed Marine 11 seconds off the pace of the leader.
X Insurance and El Bandito both run Scorpion engines. And Speed Marine builds its own power. Tyler Crockett is another popular engine builder for this class.
X Insurance, Statement Marine. You know, Statement Marine, Mark Spates worked with Nick Buis early in the day. And Mark Spates' fingerprints are all over the Statement Marine V-bottom still to this day.
Yeah, no,
Late Mark Spates, a real genius in boat building.
it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I hear Statement has a 396 catamaran, which would be right in the length range for factory stock. It'd be interesting to see if we see a Statement catamaran in that class in the future. But Nick and JJ will be back out later in the X Insurance North Pro Class 1 boat. Wow. What a lead that these two have built up.
And they came from outside. I think they weren't completely outside, but they were one lane off.
Yeah, they were lane 4 of 5.
GC Racing has just come through again, and they continue to hold a pretty steady lead over both boats in front of them. Overhead from the X Insurance Helicam, the El Bandito Yankee Tequila 29 Extreme. Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman won a world championship a couple of years back in Key West, and they'd like to get back there again.
Yeah, they pour the tequila in the coconut. From Mr. Coconut when they get on the podium. So.
4th and 5th, boatfloater.com and Save Cash coming into view.
Okay, so Boat Floater has passed them for 4th. And let's see if Speed Marine is still in 3rd.
El Bandito Yankee Tequila, co-founded by Chris Chelios, a great
hockey player. Yep.
Chicago Blackhawk. So El Bandito through lap number 5.
Yep.
5 of 8 here today. Overhead again. And nice to have clean water in front of you with an 8-second lead over X Insurance Statement Marine and 15 over Speed Marine. It's El Bandito Yankee Tequila leading here in Clearwater today at the X Insurance Nationals.
Yeah, I think they kind of wanted to make a statement like this.
Just on the bottom of the screen there, we saw GC coming through, continuing to lead, but good shot of Nick Buis and JJ Turk. Their friendship and camaraderie leading them to what we think is going to be a national championship this year in WPRA. As we see the GC Racing boat coming around boatfloater.com. Willie and Grant coasting here today, leading from start to finish. 8 seconds in front of Meade Family Racing, now 19 in front of Jackhammer. And they turn that last lap at just a shade under 114 miles an hour, so they continue to just run that boat strong. Just 3.5 laps to go to finish up factory stock racing. Watching the 29 Extreme hop. A lot of chop in these turns. I mean, we really saw some serious chop in the turns yesterday in the smaller bracketed class boats.
The 700 class boats were getting tossed around pretty good.
This is the north end of the course. It's a 5-mile course. The long clip, paper clip. Back to our leaders.
El Bandito Tequila.
They can call this their home waters.
Yep, both from Newport Richey.
Amazing where they are now from where they started.
Yeah, and I think it looked to me like Stephen Furman's got his kids here this weekend.
A couple of great guys, just fun to hang out with them. All these guys in the mod class really enjoy sitting and talking with them. Come from different parts of the country, very competitive.
Yeah.
As we watch the rest of the podium right now, as it stands, second
if you look at these deck lines,
Speed Marine.
Look at these deck lines and these deck designs and how much aerodynamics has come into play with this class.
And the two boats, here you're seeing the most recent additions to LSP Power boats out of Arnold, Maryland.
When they built this boat, El Bandito Tequila, before they put the deck on it, they just measured just how close they could be to the headers in the engine compartment. And I mean, it doesn't clear by much.
We just saw GC Racing coming back through. We'll get you an update there in a moment. Back to El Bandito, who leads in Mod V, followed by X Insurance and Speed Marine. 8 seconds, 13 seconds span there as you see the GC Racing boat now getting back through that pack for the second time. And again, holding their lap speed at about 114 miles an hour. Just another day in the cockpit for Willie and Grant after winning yesterday in Pro Class 1. Back to our number 2 boat in Mod V. As you can see the difference in speed, the big wide tunnel catamarans, and now looking down the tunnel of GC Racing there for a moment, but just going right past the V bottom was Meade Family Racing, and compressing that air down the tunnel.
They're not
tunnels,
that far behind Meade Family Racing.
They're really not. It's 8 seconds off the pace. GC Racing taking the north turn.
I'd say this is a pretty good debut for Caleb on the throttles.
So 1 lap left for the factory stock boats. That's what we're hearing from race control. We'll confirm that momentarily. As you can see, the Mod V boats in chase now, and Mead Family Racing in the mix there as well.
Yeah,
But there's
Willie
your
and
overall
Grant.
leader,
They'll get out
GC
of-
Racing.
They'll get out of this boat, go get ready and climb into the Pro Class 1 boat for the final race of the weekend.
That's right.
So probably when they get out of this boat, they're going right in the trailer into the air conditioning. Get hydrated. Well, let's see if we see a flag when they go past the start boat here, or the finish boat, rather.
Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggerman from Grant Signature Racing, Bradenton, Florida, in the cockpit.
Yep,
And
checkered
there's your
flag.
checkered flag and your winner in factory stock 500, the Marine Technologies GC Racing Team.
2 for 2 on the weekend.
And that should wrap up a WPRA National Championship for that team. Second place will go to Me Family Racing, I believe, and there's Jackhammer, the third place boat, going around. Your leader in Mod V, Jackhammer, will take third. They'll finish 17 seconds off the pace of our leader GC. Me Family Racing takes second, and they were 8 seconds off the lead in second place. Beautiful livery of the MTI hull. MTI took great strides with Randy Sism's daughter Taylor to build this class. With John Tomlinson, she teamed up and finally built the class to where it became a recognized national class. And now in Key West, we're expecting the largest turnout of factory stock boats ever to hit the water in the southernmost city. Back to Mod V Racing and our third place boat, Speed Marine. So Willie and Grant kept it pretty much right there at that 112, 118. These are all unofficial time results for you. Right here from our broadcast center. Back to Speed Marine. These guys came on the scene out of New Jersey. Quite a storm last year. We saw them for the first time at Ocean City, and they lit it up.
Yeah, and they do a lot of custom fabricated parts for this boat, and they built some parts for the NMB RV guys as well in their 29 Extreme. So they're definitely a force to be reckoned with in this class.
Yeah, something came up with them. We'll have to find out from them, but they fell off the pace after leading earlier. And there's El Bandito has taken the checkered flag in Mod V here today. So we have finishes in both classes, as GC will take the checkered flag. As you can see, it's breezing up a little bit. We're starting to see some white capping going on here in Clearwater. You can see the ruffling of the tops and some of the boats in the spectator fleet. And it was supposed to kick up to, out of the north at about 10 at some point. But a great day again. This is another one like yesterday after winning the first Pro Class 1 race in their 482 MTI 1100 horsepower QC4V twin turbocharged engine Pro Class 1 boat. Now to factory stock, where they win today here on this Sunday, and that should wrap up a national championship for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can make it a perfect weekend, but no pressure.
Winds looks like they have come up out of the north a bit here. Somewhere in the 10-mile-an-hour or less range, as El Bandito will take their checkered flag.
Yeah, that's the one thing with those slope deck lines. It's easy to slide off on these little narrow V-bottoms, so they're not going to. I think that's Steve Miklos out on the deck, smart, holding onto that center rail.
These are tight cockpits too.
Yes.
I mean, especially Steve's. They have custom built seats in there. They designed and had built themselves. And there's Steve on his knees with a victory fist to the sky after just a few weeks ago.
They were to the sky.
They were to the sky. A scary cannonball through, just a corkscrew
Yeah.
Boat did 2 complete turnarounds before landing
They're
upright.
going to lose that flag off the end of the stick if they're not careful. That wind is picking up. Look at that.
Yeah. So Steve Furman back into the boat. Steve Miklos with the win, and they have to feel good about their fortunes moving into the World Championship phase of their season.
Oh, yeah, this was the classic case of you got to get back on the horse after it bucks you. And they got bucked pretty good.
Oh, no doubt.
Now they...
the crazy story is when the SSR rescue team got into the boat with him, he wanted to continue racing, and they're like, we don't think that that's a good...
That's not recommended.
What did he say? They asked him where he's from, and he said, Spain. And he was just joking.
Oh.
But it wasn't a good time to joke, Steve.
No.
But Steve's a jokester, and we know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably didn't go over too well.
Yep. There they are. Winners in Mod V.
Oh,
Fun racing today. Here's
got the cool
Jack
suit
Hammer
on.
got
You see
the
all those
inside
little
lane.
hoses running
and
through
as
that.
we get back to some action from what we just saw in Mod V and factory stock. Early, the Mead Family Racing Team and GC Racing side by side here.
Dueling MTIs.
And then the start of the Mod V, as you saw, Speed Marine got out to the early lead, and they were being challenged by...
But look at where El Bandito had to come from, all the way outside in lane. Right, they were probably the 5th.
In lane 5, yeah.
Yeah. So that just makes it even more impressive that they caught up that quickly, and then
Yep. Speed Marine with the early lead and speed.
looks like a new sponsor on the side of the boat there. I'm not sure
Freedom.
what Freedom is, but
You see the GC racing boat coming around the first time. They lapped the field a couple. Of course, you're talking about a 125-mile boat there, a big catamaran, and a 95-mile V-bottom.
But there's the move. There's the inside move where El Bandito. That was initially, I think, where they took second, because I think Speed. Oh no, this is where both boats. It looked like they got a little wild, but El Bandito came out of it better.
Yep.
But GC Racing, I mean, they looked like this all day.
All day.
So the boat was balanced perfectly. I mean, the brain trust setting up that boat: Milton Califel, Randy Sissom, Grant Bruggeman. You know, it's a pretty good collection of experienced people there.
Get the checkered flag and win today's factory stock 500 race. And then, of course, the Manatee Marine boat, higher in speed, got around El Bandito there, but it was El Bandito's day in Mod V.
And here's GC Racing in their day, and
Willie and Grant victorious with the checkered flag. Mead Family Racing takes second. X Insurance Statement Marine.
Kelly Bruggeman
takes
told
the
me
win.
yesterday she lost her voice, so
Did
today
she?
it must be gone.
Yeah, she must. And Jack Hammer took third, and then your winners in the Mod V, El Bandito, Yankee Tequila, X Insurance second, Speed Marine third, and Miklos and Furman with the checkered flag. And so that race is in the books.
Being somewhat follically challenged, I got to admire Stephen Furman's son's mullet. That's a good haircut for that age.
Yeah. So helicopters will refuel, and we'll get back with the Super Cat and Super Stock Racing next. We'll finish the day with the big Pro Class 1 boats here at the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. We got lots still coming up for you. Action here from the beaches of Clearwater. We'll be back more after these messages.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
Insurance sucks, and we think so too. Why? Because traditional policies don't provide complete coverage, leaving you to deal with the holes and gaps. But not anymore. X Insurance's True Umbrella and True Homeowners are a true partner, covering any potential gaps and exclusions. With X Insurance's True Umbrella and True Homeowners policy, you will experience true insurance when compared to traditional policies. Contact us today or ask your agent about X Insurance.
To me, being a mountain guide is just the greatest opportunity to share my passion for skiing and climbing with people who are new to it. My main goal out there is to take care of and shepherd other people through the mountains, make sure that they don't get hurt, they don't get into trouble, guide them to places they always wanted to go but needed the skill set and knowledge of a guide to help them in accomplishing that goal. And then come back safe. No 2 days are ever the same in the mountains. Everything changes, the weather, the avalanche hazards. Not everything is really perfectly safeguarded. The mountains are an uncertain place. So it's a fine line, but I think when you can trust somebody and you do push them to a higher level, it's really rewarding. Ultimately, it's not a question of if any accident's ever going to happen if you're doing a lot of mountain guiding, but it's when. The knowledge that we have a really strong partner in our insurance company is essential. I'm helping my clients achieve great things in the mountains, achieve their goals in the mountains, and that's what X Insurance does for me. They were there for us when we needed them. They're providing an opportunity for us to go out and guide mountain climbing and backcountry skiing in the beautiful Wasatch Range, and that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable at all doing without a great insurance company behind us. I know that I can trust them and I can go forward with confidence.
Family first. That's just the way I look at it. And the family, my friends and employees are the ones that helped me get to what we are today. We are first responder, emergency roadside, major incidents, recovery incidents with the Highway Patrol, Department of Transportation, and our family and employees goes into a risk every day. There's no way that we can run a towing company without insurance. What I look for an insurance company is a company that can be partners with me and support when the unfortunate happens. Unfortunately, I did have a small incident last year. X Insurance got involved step by step, helped me how to get to it, pay the losses, make sure that I was secure, make sure that our equipment was correct, make sure that I was where I needed to be to go back to work. I didn't have to worry about nothing in my business because my insurance was handling the loss and it was right on top of the money. I can continue to worry about my business, worry about my staff, my family, and let the insurance do what they do best. As long as I stay in business, we will need insurance company.
Insurance sucks, and we think so too. Why? Because traditional policies don't provide complete coverage, leaving you to deal with the holes and gaps. But not anymore. X Insurance's true umbrella and true homeowners are a true partner, covering any potential gaps and exclusions. With X Insurance's true umbrella and true homeowners policy, you will experience true insurance when compared to traditional policies. Contact us today or ask your agent about X Insurance.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
Most boats are built with skin coat, which is a chop strand mat. You start with your gel coat, then you go into a skin coat, usually 1.5 ounces. Could have more, could have less as far as your chop strand mat. Then you put carbon in behind that, and then you add in your structural laminates, which can be wood, composites, Kusa, whatever the builder wants to do. This one is carbon fiber with wood, carbon fiber in between each layer of wood, and then up to 26 to 40 ounces of carbon on the inside. That follows through all the way through the engine bay, tied in with stringers and bulkheads. Stringers run the length of the boat, bulkheads run perpendicular left and right to the boat. The bulkhead gives you separation and strength throughout the boat so that it can flex, but not too much. Stringers are what keeps the boat straight and strong on the water. So you have a linear strength and you have a width that all adds into the structure of the boat.
We're here in Clearwater, Florida for the final WPRA national race.
It's a super tight points battle this year.
For the national championship, everything's close with all classes. Pro Class 1's very close with all the teams. Super Cat is beyond close.
Big rivalry here, Grade L, so we're going to be going deck to deck to see who's going to come out on top.
It's Clearwater. I mean, anything can happen.
Golf's always rough and kick up. The only good thing about the golf is you could time it a little bit better. We were in Chicago and that was an absolute washing machine.
When you're talking racing against 16 or 18 other boats, there's not a spot on the course that has a good line. There's not a smooth section of water.
Yeah, we've been knocking at the door a little bit, but I feel like we're pretty close. We're right there and we're going to be looking to get on that top step of the podium.
This is where champions are crowned, and we're hoping we can be part of that process. Here we'll do 0-30 tomorrow. Last race of the year, guys. It's all down to this. Winner takes all.
As we await the start of more racing action here in Clearwater at the pits, Super Cats and Super Stocks coming up next before our race finale with Pro Class 1. Looking at Gray Dell there, who's in the Super Cat points hunt for the national championship, as well as the Dirty Money race team on the left of your screen, docked up with the X Insurance North boat. Those two boats, Dirty Money and Gray Dell, in the hunt in Super Stock here today. They'll be running with or Super Cat, excuse me. They'll be running with the Super Stock boats. Yeah, look at this prop change there, Colby.
Yeah,
Dirty Money.
They're lucky they're not in the water. At least on this one, they can see he's standing on the tunnel tab. So if it'll hold up a 10,000 pound boat, it'll hold up a guy in the corner wrenching on a prop. But they must have gotten some intel last minute saying, okay, we got to change the wheels we're running, and you don't want to drop that on your foot because it's going to take off a toe. Those are sharp.
The heat is rising. Heat index in the mid-90s. Temperature's about 87. So a little bit more wind as the day has gone on. That may have factored into those decisions as we watch our Super Cats and Super Stocks set out for racing here this afternoon off of Clearwater Beach, the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. Super Cats will be running 12 laps today, and our Super Stock boats will be running 10. Back to our third member of the team, Tristan Garvin, who has our winners from an earlier race today.
Hey guys, you just came off the race course. How was it out there?
It was a little choppy out there. No groundswell, but about 2 or 3 foot chop, and then just that wind that was coming out of the south there, or the north. But totally manageable, and we just stuck to our plan, and we executed, and here we are.
Yeah, you got that first place. How's it feel, Willie?
Awesome. We did really good. It's a lot, tamer than yesterday. So it's about half the size that it was yesterday. So the boat rode awesome. The guys did a great job.
Going into that Pro Class 1 race next, how do you feel after coming out of the factory stock boat?
We feel great. We've got a good idea of what's out there and what to expect in the Class 1 boat. So we'll get with the other guys now with the Class 1 boat. We'll go through propellers and weight, and they've already fueled the boat, getting ready to go in the water. So we're feeling really confident about today.
So we got pole, so it's just defending that position. So 6 laps. So let's see if we can hold everybody off.
Congratulations on this win, and go get another one, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggerman with their win in factory stock today. They were flawless, kept turning laps at about 113, 114 miles an hour all day. And now they'll take the knowledge that they got out there on the course, Eric. And as you heard Grant Bruggerman talk about a little bit of a groundswell, not quite what it was yesterday, but they'll take that intelligence and move on to Pro Class 1 racing where they won yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they have data acquisition in the boat, but there's no better data acquisition than going out and running a race for 10 laps on the conditions you're going to see probably in 30, 40 minutes.
There's a super stock boat, Team Nautical Ventures, Vision Marine, Sean Torrente, and Matt Jaminski leading the way of the super stock boats. That's what we have now. We have Super Cat and Super Stock, 2 of the biggest and most popular classes that they'll run today with lighter fields than normal as they get set to, some boats just fine-tuning themselves for the end of the year, and a couple racing for national championships in the respective classes, and all getting ready for their final races coming up later this year for the World Championships.
And one brand new boat, the Moxie X Insurance and Superstock, with Greg Reichman and David Whalen making their debut at this race, so they could qualify to get to Key West. And we'll see how they do when that's their new victory hull right there. And very familiar lines. The X Insurance graphic is pretty familiar as well. And we'll see if they jump right into the fray, or if they kind of take it easy at first, get used to the boat, and just make sure they get to completing a race and get some time under their belts.
One of a half a dozen X Insurance sponsored boats here racing and offshore as you watch Team Wozencraft.
Another victory.
Another victory hull with out of Manatee Marine, Jeremy Sheeta and Julian Maldonado. The super stock boats are paired up with 300R Mercury Racing engines. So they'll move off to the north side of the course, get themselves ready to get started. Super Cat Racing, naturally aspirated engines, old Holly style carbureted, old style boats, catamarans with the number 6 Mercury drives. Let's find out more about Super Cat Racing here as Dirty Money and Great L lock up for a national championship race.
This is our 388 Skater, Dirty Money Racing. It runs in the Super Cat class. The Super Cat class has 510 cubic inch naturally aspirated motors that everybody has to follow a big set of rules: cam lift, cubic inch, compression. Boats are between 36 and 40 feet long. They run upwards of 140 miles an hour, and they're the ones that are making all the noise on the course, show-stopping.
Yeah, showstoppers indeed, especially Dirty Money with those tractor pipes coming out blasting the noise and up and down the ranks. Only 2 boats here in Super Cat, the only 2 that are vying for the national championship, and they've dueled each other all year. The team based out of Toronto, although they keep the boat at Outlaw Performance in Southwest Florida. But Toronto's Chris Grant teaming up with Jay Muller in the cockpit this year. Both these boats, 388 skaters, HRE engines in the Grey Dell team out of Canada, and Goodwin competition engines in Dirty Money, Eric.
Yeah, and the boats are two of the fastest we've seen all season. They've both laid down some impressive speeds. The interesting thing now, Bill Pyburn, the throttleman, kind of de facto leader with Bo and Tiffany Renfo from the Dirty Money team, a big believer in data acquisition. So that boat is very well equipped, and he pours over that. They all pour over it when they make, with Bobby Adams, the crew chief, when they make where they're going to put the weight, which props they're going to run, and then he's got one of the best drivers in the sport, I think, right now. I mean, Britt Lilly's dad, Art, was a legendary throttleman, but Britt has worked his way up as one of the best wheelmen you're going to find now. And that makes a big difference on these shorter courses if you have to defend a line. I know that we'll have to see who gets the inside lane here. They drew out of 2 cards this morning, whoever got lane 1, lane 2, but I'm not sure that's going to make that big of a difference with only 2 boats.
Yeah, there they are, moving off the screen, and we got to look at our super stock boats. These are the 32-foot catamarans with the twin 300R Mercury racing engines. They're the lightest boats in the national classes. They'll weigh 4,900 pounds coming out of the water, 63-inch tunnels, and they're actually having to add 300, 400, 500 pounds to make that weight. They have to be a minimum weight of 40. So that's not only is it prop selection and super stock, but they've got to figure out where to put their weight and get their CG right. As we see orange smoking, we're going to get the boats lined up. Super Cat will start first, super stock next. You know, we talked about Victory hulls, of course, Doug Wright hulls, and we also STR Sean Torrente Racing Hull out there, who is really poised to win the WPRA National Championship here in Clearwater with a good showing. Team Nautical Ventures Vision Marine.
And that is a testament to perseverance, because he has done nothing but refine the bottom of that boat. He goes out off of his place in Fort Myers. Let's try this. Okay, that worked. Okay, now let's try this. He just hasn't stopped. So you have to give a nod to someone who puts that kind of time in to make something that he created right.
Teaming up with Matt Jaminski this year, and quite successfully.
And here we go with the Super Cats.
Cats are ready to run.
So it looks like Dirty Money does have the inside lane. And Chris Grant is another wheelman, the driver of the Grey Dell boat, who is no slouch. So
you have about a mile and a half to get lined up. You see the green buoys they put in place for the Pro Class 1 boats.
Yeah, I think they're still using a green flag for the Super Cats.
They are.
On the pace boat. So leaders have to line up, get side by side when it looks even.
And one of the most difficult things is to get one of these starts just right. And
I think they already threw the green.
Yeah, the race is on. And Super Cat, there's Dirty Money to the left on the screen, and Grey Dell. They've been after each other all year long, swapping victories from the start of the 2025 campaign. And you see them side by side. Dirty Money, Britt Lilly and Bill Pyburn, followed by Grey Dell, Jay Muller with Chris Grant, both 388 skaters. Open competition, Power and Dirty Money, HRE Power and Grey Dell.
Yeah, Jay Muller, most of his experience has been in a 40 skater the last few years, but he seems to have taken to this 380 quite well. And he's got a little bit of a lead here. Let's see how they do going into turn 1. This is the start of lap 1, and they are running 12 laps.
There you see the first of the 3-pin turn. Dirty Money's got the shorter way around the course, and there you can see he'll protect his line.
Yep. Britt's a very good defensive driver.
And keep Grey Dell to the outside. Takes noses just in front of Grey Dell. Heading on the outbound north track.
But now it looks like Grey Dell's trying to pull him. And here now we're looking back at the Superstock start.
And they do have a green flag, so the race is on.
And there goes Team Nautical Ventures with Wozencraft in chase. They are the two outside lanes. The inside lane is Demon Bikini, Leanna Shadlow and Chad Havens. Nautical Ventures was in lane 2 with Torrente and Jaminski. Lane 3 is Wozencraft, Jeremy Sheeta, Julian Maldonado. And lane 4 is the new Moxie boat with Greg Reichman and David Whelan.
This boat has been very fast as Sean Torrente has really went to work on it. It's always been known as a fast boat, but it's turning so much better now.
That's the thing, the turning. And veterans will tell you, yeah, you might be fast to the first turn, but you got to get around the whole course.
There they are, Torrente and Jaminski, and the STR 32-foot catamaran.
The bright orange Nautical Ventures colors. Nautical Ventures is one of the largest boat dealerships in the world, founded by Roger Moore, calls himself 007. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in the industry. And we want to wish Frank Ferraro, who recently retired from Nautical Ventures, best of luck in your retirement, Frank.
So Torrente and Jaminski have a lead over Team Wozencraft. That boat flying just right. Remember, these are the lightest boats in the major national classes.
Yep. And they will be getting new midsections for the outboards next year. Shorter, that'll lower the center of gravity for the engines themselves. But here's Graydell.
The lead over Dirty Money.
Over Dirty Money.
Turned that lap at 121.4 miles an hour. Big speed. Took a 4-second lead over Dirty Money on conclusion of lap number 1.
This was always a boat that was known for being good in the rough, but they've found calm water speed this year.
Big time. Dirty Money now trailing by 4 seconds. A lot of racing to go. This is what we've seen out of...
This looks like a lot more than 4 seconds.
Yeah, it did. Gained some speed in the turn. Gained some distance in the turn as we look back at Dirty Money. Goodwin Competition engines. Your reigning world champion. Now as we watch on the far north side of the course.
Nautical Ventures is in the lead with Wozencraft in second. Let's see if Leanna Shadlow rather, is holding the third position, or if Moxie, I can't tell from the distance who was there.
We're seeing Graydell now approaching. Look how, I mean, running at 120 miles an hour. So we get a first lap on the super stock boats.
Yeah, Graydell is. They're not holding off. They're not holding up.
The super stocks are completing their first lap in front of them. Dirty Money in second. Here come the super stocks, and it is
Nautical Ventures in first, Wozencraft in second. That's exactly how you want that boat to ride right there. Just a little bit of the stern in the water, everything else.
Team Nautical Ventures, Wozencraft in second. We can catch that third place boat as they take the 3-pin turn here after lap number 1.
Demon Bikini is in third. And Moxie goes by in fourth.
Demon Bikini out of Texas, Leanna Shadlow and Chad Havens. Lone Doug Wright out here today.
There's Graydell again and already completing lap 3.
Dirty Money, 6 seconds now behind Graydell.
prop change wasn't.
Yeah, that's, I mean, those are calculated changes.
Yeah, those are gambles you take. And this is the new victory. X Insurance Moxie getting passed by Dirty Money.
You can see the differential in speed, and I know that this is only the first race for the Moxie team, but this is Super Cat racing very fast.
Yeah, and
back
at this
to your
point,
leader in Super Stock.
It's not as if in this point, Dirty Money can be surprised that Graydell jumped out like that. They've seen it all season. Yep. Now this is interesting because the Graydell should be going to the outside because they're the faster boat from the bigger class. But he almost looked like he wanted to go inside of Wozencraft there.
You'd rather be going around them in the straightaway as opposed to the turn.
Yeah.
And see if Dirty Money can use that to its advantage as those boats go through the north end. Now both the Super Cats are moving southbound, but Team Nautical Ventures continues to lead in Super Stock, trailed by Wozencraft, and Graydell has moved ahead of Dirty Money. Chris Grant and Jay Muller, HRE Engines.
Outlaw
388
Performance.
Skater. Yep.
Austin Blocker.
Great job.
Taking care of that boat. Torrente and Jaminski are leading on the second lap in Super Stock, but just look at the attitude of this boat.
That's exactly how you want to fly a boat.
And I know when Jay's in a boat with Billy Moff, they don't talk much, and I can't imagine they need to talk much with him and Chris. They seem to have just gelled really well together.
They came together this season. Back-to-back wins in Lake of the Ozarks. Dirty Money has now fallen 8 seconds off the pace of Graydell.
One thing this will give Britt Lilly and Bill Pyburn is intel for the Pro Class 1 race. Jay Muller's not racing Pro Class 1 at this one. But here's Sean Torrente and Matt Jaminski. The folks on that Starline cruise boat are getting a great view.
Team Nautical Ventures with a 4-second lead over Wozencraft, 10 seconds over Demon Bikini in third. A lot of respect for the Demon Bikini team. They've really come along in a year and a half of racing. Getting more competitive. Beautiful shot down the tunnel now of Graydell, packing, compressing that air. Dancing on top of the Gulf waters. And they've got it set up just right. Dirty Money still in chase.
Yep.
Trying to find some extra speed. Overhead of the SDR 32. Sean Torrente.
They wrap up this weekend, and Sean will be headed back over to Dubai to race Formula One tunnel boats.
Yep. He's also racing XCAT over there. Racing Formula One with Team Victory out of Dubai. In trail, Wozencraft.
Yep.
The Graydell team coming through again. Turning that lap, 122.5.
This boat ran as well. It was in the MCon stable. I don't know if they ever raced it, but before that it was Steel and AMH. So there's some good history to this boat, and it's still very fast, obviously.
It was an MCon boat for 1 year.
So they did race it while they were building the 388 they just recently sold.
That's right.
Okay.
I asked Tyler, why did you sell the boat to those guys? They were chasing it down in the national championship hunt that year. Dirty Money has fallen back to 13 seconds off the lead of Great L, so they continue to extend their lead.
Yeah, and I can't think of any kind of strategic move where Bill and Britt would say, okay, we're just going to cruise in second.
Team High Tech Decks, what the team was previously called. Now they're new sponsor, Team Nautical Ventures. So you go back and look at some of the races earlier this year.
Yep.
They've been improving all year long. Sean Tarenti, Matt Kaminsky gelling 4 seconds ahead of Wozencraft, 13 seconds in front of Demon Bikini.
And we should also say hello to two of Sean's employees, Nick Imprescia and Ian Morgan. I would imagine they are here with the team in the pits, but we'd like to see them at some more races at some point in 151 Express.
Dirty Money running in second. Your reigning world champions, back to your leader, Team Nautical Ventures. So Vision Marine sponsor.
And Sean set the electric boat speed record with Vision Marine at the Lake of the Ozarks shootout a couple years ago, driving a boat with two of their electric outboards.
Powered by the 300R Mercury Racing engine, which currently has the 20-inch midsection. Mercury Racing announcing the 15-inch midsection earlier this summer, and all these boats will be able to pair up with that 15-inch midsection and better CG next year. It'll be interesting to see how the boats handle it, and
those engines
gets better.
They'll sit 5 inches shorter on the transom, so that should definitely help bring the weight up. You won't have the forces of it being exerted as high on the stern.
Well, the 300R has been an amazing advancement. Great linear power through the RPMs. They're already turning better, even though they have that high CG. Team in Bikini, but great race day here for S54 High Tech Deck. So looking forward to seeing that new 300R. We heard from the testing of it. It's really loud.
Yeah, you can opt for the open exhaust, I believe.
Yeah.
And
in the competition model, it will be the open exhaust.
The ROS. But they've stretched out a comfortable lead. You know, Matt and Sean this is their first year together, but they look to be like they've gelled quite well on the boat.
And in talking to some of the insiders inside the class, great respect for the work Sean Tarenti has put into getting this hull. It was always fast, as we mentioned earlier. Now it's turning better. On the nose, and it's coming together nicely. This boat is a force to be reckoned with.
And I don't even think he's going to try to do that as a pleasure boat. Once he's ready to sell it, he's going to sell race boats.
Talk of boat manufacturer from Canada entering into super stock, tough boats.
Ah, yes. Mark and Dana Weigel used to be tough enough in their pro stock skater. I don't know who Thomas is going to team up with. Maybe a customer.
Let's see.
It's usually the way those smaller companies do it. A customer buys the boat, and then someone from the factory will throttle it. And the way Thomas has run boats at the shootout,
118.
Think he'd be a good
the
candidate.
production class boat there. The pleasure version of it is.
I think that was Thomas and Mark. I still remember Thomas running that 35 monohull with the giant engine in it. I think it was 135 miles an hour.
Great L continues to pull away. Last lap speed was at 122.5.
And what is the rendering on the side of the boat? It's a self-portrait of Chris
It's
Grant.
a doodle of Chris Grant, doodling himself. It's
on
hilarious.
the deck as well.
Yep. And You love the lightheartedness of the team out of Toronto, but the seriousness to racing, now 11 seconds out in front of Dirty Money here today. And what a season it has been for Gray Dell, with Chris Grant teaming up with Jay Muller. And after Lake of the Ozarks, they've been a force to be reckoned with, always chasing on top 3 spots of the podium. 388 skater with Hamitman Racing Engines, HRE. And they have it set just perfectly.
And the thing that works well for them is HRE is just down the road from Outlaw Performance. So the synergy for everyone on the team to work together is quite good.
Another great shot of these big catamarans, 9,500 pounds. How they get them up and out of the water with 800 horsepower engines.
Like
naturally aspirated, packing air, pressing it down the tunnel and lifting. And this boat is running flawlessly today.
I'd like to give a shout out to the former throttleman of this boat, Billy Moore. Moore's Performance Marine in Grantsboro, North Carolina. In addition to setting up race boats, he's also good with pleasure boats. So if you need any work done, give him a call.
Dirty Money turned the respective fleet onto its lid last year, coming on strong, moving with Goodwin competition engines and using a lot of analytics to gain speed. Won the World Championship last year. And if it weren't for hurricanes, might have won the National Championship as well.
Pulling away from Rick's helicopter.
Turn that lap at 122.5 again. Was the boat in front, Raydell, Dirty Money in chase. Right now,
I have this at the end of 9. Is that what you have?
Yep.
Okay.
I got what you got. And Dirty Money back to Graydell. Still unable to bridge the gap. Is Dirty Money in second, holding 11 seconds off the pace of the leader. Good look at Clearwater Beach from the Gulf side, back onto the outbound leg of the course, chasing from the X-Endurance Helicam.
Moxie is out in super stock. Teething pains, I'm sure, getting used to the new boat. And
very first race for them.
Getting some gremlins dealt with.
Impressive looking new victory hull. Watch Graydell now mix it up with, looks like the Doug Wright catamaran.
Now, will that mean that Demon Bikini gets his first podium?
I'd say yes.
Good for them.
Graydell.
Chris Grant. One of the most unassuming guys when you talk to him.
Yeah, super nice.
A couple years ago, when they had the hurricanes hit Fort Myers, he sent a truckload of plywood from Canada down to help the folks down there. And after the
we're hearing from Race Control Dirty Money just hit the buoy. And
there's the buoy deflated.
In the water, and they came off of power.
Oops. Yeah, they're definitely off plane, or barely on plane now. They're probably just heading straight into the pits. Well, that's too bad.
Graydell continue to hold that speed right above 122 miles an hour.
Yeah, it should be only 2 laps to go for Graydell.
A fortunate day for them. Made all the right decisions and calculations. Getting this boat ready for the water here. Heat index now into the mid-90s here in Clearwater. Bit of a, you could just see they're going to have to solve that
And
mark at this point.
they'll have to replace that buoy before the Pro Class 1 race. They usually have additional buoys available on.
For now, they're going to put one of the patrol boats in the vicinity and advise
with a yellow flag up, which just means pass with caution.
Yeah. Dirty Money did get back up on plane, but now 32 seconds off the pace of your leader, Team Nautical Ventures.
Yep, they put the caution flag out, just telling guys you don't have to stop, but take it easy going through here. There's something different about the course, or there could be debris, or if it was
in race control, I'm sure is advising them that the buoy got taken out.
If it was sea life, they'd stop the race.
Oh,
if it was a turtle or
always
something.
very aware of the marine life, trying to take care not to harm any marine life in any of the areas. Ooh, Team Nautical Ventures busting into a wave there as the two leaders
in the respective races,
classes, right? You see them side by side here, and the speed of a 1,600 horsepower boat versus the speed of a 600 horsepower boat.
No replacement for displacement.
38 footer, 32 footer, 9,500 pounds, 4,900 pounds, but equally as exciting in the sport of offshore powerboat racing. But there is Gray Dell.
Should be the white flag lap coming up when they pass the yellow buoy at finish line.
So far it has been their day.
I kind of like the understated livery of that boat.
Yeah.
It's just straightforward.
Very working class. And that's the kind of vibe you get with Chris Grant and his team. Working class, getting it done.
And Jay, too. Jay Muller doesn't care about fanfare or, he'll hang out and talk with anybody. And in Chicago, after the Super Cat race was over, they were all, someone from every team was over hanging out in the Graydell pits.
So Graydell in control of this Super Cat race. It's really going to put them in a prime spot to win the WPRA National Championship.
It really makes it, you're looking ahead to Key West.
Now 32 seconds ahead of Dirty Money, and it's all done but the finish.
You think about Graydell and Dirty Money and Key West, and who else could show up? Roland Transport has looked real good this year. They've been fast with the Sterling engines power, not Sterling Performance under the new management. And CR Racing still getting to know that boat. So we could have a good Super Cat fleet in Key West for sure. Yep, Dirty Money is trying to, they got back up and running. I'll be curious to hear about how they hit that buoy, unless they were avoiding maybe a super stock boat in the turn or something. So we'll go talk to them.
And Chase.
We'll have it as part of my story tomorrow in speedonthewater.com.
Where that buoy got hit, I believe for the final time, that might be the middle buoy that got knocked. Or it could be.
Well, you do get penalized.
So it appears this will be sorted out afterwards, but this definitely looks like with the Dirty Money falling back and in second, hitting the buoy here, this solidifies Graydell's checkered flag here today and another win this season. Here at the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. Look like they're poised potentially to win the WPRA National Championship. That'll be sorted out with the scoring of the officials here later today. But a big win for Graydell here in Clearwater today. through one more time, and we still have 1 lap left. And they're continuing on. So 1 lap to go on a really great season. Tough day for Dirty Money.
Been a tough weekend a little bit for the Pyburns.
Yep.
Jack had a great day, great game yesterday playing for LSU, but the offense couldn't put points on the board.
Yeah, Bill's son Jack plays at LSU. Tough SEC, just look up and down the ranks there with Alabama beating Georgia last night, knocking them off the pedestal of unbeaten. But yeah, Bill's going to try and make up for that later on this afternoon when he and Brick climb in their
one more shot
south. They are definitely, they have the points lead going into the Pro Class 1 National Championship race. So they'll jump from this boat to the next for our race finale. You see the hit buoy in the water still. Of course, it's anchored to the bottom.
To the bottom. So and there's the next one that's going to replace it between races.
Exactly. And this should be for the final turn. Super Cat leader all the way. Jay Muller and Chris Grant kept that boat running. Average speeds of about 122 miles an hour here today. We'll have our finishes of our Super Cat and then our Super Stock races here before rolling right into the Pro Class 1 races. 2 more laps. Still may have a couple laps left here to go. Dirty Money continuing on. I mean, you don't finish till you finish.
To finish first you must finish.
Right.
That's an old offshore powerboat racing saying. As far as the hitting the buoy, normally that would not be a DQ. It's a time penalty, so it's not going to affect them because they're running second out of 2. If it had been Graydell, then that would be different. But since they're second out of 2 boats, it's just going to be
Graydell's white flag lap.
Yep. It almost looks like it's laid down a little more. I wonder if any of the Pro Class 1 teams are watching this and thinking maybe we need to go for a faster setup than we initially thought. That boat has just had such a great attitude all afternoon. 34-second lead.
Buoy penalty pending against Dirty Money. Back to Super Stock. Demon Bikini, Leanna Shadlow, Chad Havens, and the 32 Doug Wright. You see on the previous shot, there's our leader now. Team Nautical Ventures, Torrente and Jaminski.
They've got to get close to wrapping up.
Yep, I had them right at the 100-mile-an-hour average speed here during the race. Watch Graydell.
Skater 388 built at Douglas Marine in Douglas, Michigan.
They should be heading to the checkered flag.
Well-earned checkered flag, too. They left no doubt on this one.
So the boat that they used to say was a rough water boat, vied for the national championship in a couple of seasons, kind of fell off the pace last year, but they came in with a new game in 2025 with Chris Grant joining Jay Muller, Austin Blocker out of Offshore Outlaw Performance. And today here at the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, Team Graydell from Toronto, Canada, it races to the front. takes the checkered flag in Super Cat class.
Is that a flag?
Overhead, you can see the doodle. That's the Chris Grant caricature of himself.
They're still running.
They do look like they are.
Unless they're turning in on. No, they look like they're still running on. Might be one more to go.
Last lap, 122.35 miles an hour. So they're going to have at least one more lap at this. Sometimes these teams will just take a victory lap or just an insurance lap to make sure that they didn't miscount. Most of these boats looks like
Dirty Money's heading straight
Dirty
in.
Money
so.
knows that this race is over. They're just heading straight back to the pits because they're going to have to jump onto their Pro Class 1 boat.
Yep.
And that tells me that Graydell may have taken that extra lap.
And here's Nautical Ventures.
Yep.
Sean Torrente, Matt Jaminski should be coming in to wrap up the super stock race.
Wozencraft, they gave him a chase. Third place with Demon Bikini. Nice showing for them as they get ready for the World Championships in November in Key West.
When was the last time you only saw one Doug Wright on a super stock race?
Yeah.
The other boats are building strength.
Here comes Sean Torrente, Matt Jaminski, Team Nautical Ventures from start to finish. Big day for them out on the water, in the lead all the way. They'll wrap up a WPRA National Championship this year. Team Wozencraft.
Oh, yep, there's the flag.
And second, Jeremy Sheeta and Julia Maldonado out of Manatee Marine. Third place will go to our team from Texas.
Chad Havens, Leanna Shadlow. I believe it's their first podium. And if not, it's still a well-earned third. So they've been steadily improving. And looking forward to see them running Key West.
Team Nautical Ventures on their last lap averaging 100.65 miles an hour unofficially, so they kept it right there throughout the day and set the pace for what they hope is a great end to the 2025 campaign as we look from the X-Insurance Helicam at Demon Bikini. Finishing in third here today.
They'll probably just continue straight on in. Go get cooled off. No AC systems in those boats. And here's your winners in Super Cat.
Pop the hatch.
Go get that flag.
Victorious today. There was no doubt once the first half lap was done. From Super Stock, you can see our top three.
Nautical Ventures, Wozencraft, and Demon Bikini. Unfortunately, Moxie X-Insurance broke down.
There's our first place boat getting the nice catch. Sean Torrente with his wheelman Matt Jaminski victorious here in Clearwater. And WPRA National Champions.
Second time as national champions for Sean, because he was a national champion in the MTI.
Yep, that's right.
And here's Jay and Chris
waiting
for their flag.
Where you both can come out of the cockpit.
Yep.
In a Super Cat. Not getting blown around. And
there you go.
Shea Muller with the catch.
Well earned.
Furl the flag and wave to victory in a tremendous 2025 WPRA campaign for them.
The progress they've made in just finding speed in that boat all year and consistency. They seem to just gelled like the first race.
With the checkered flag displayed prominently, there is your winner in Super Cat here at the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, Team Graydell. They'll motor back over to Sankey Park, the crane area, back into the dry pits towards tonight at Marina Cantina. 6 to 7:30 is listed on the schedule. There and get a seat early. The National Championship Awards and from today's racing will all be handed out. Chris Grant, Jay Muller victorious, Chris waving to the fans. And they're loving it in Toronto, Canada today.
And Lake Hopatcong, New Jersey, where Jay's from.
Team Nautical Ventures. Sean Torrenti, Matt Jaminski with the big win here in Clearwater. They are doing a drive-by to the fans here on Clearwater Beach.
Can't really do a burnout.
No, not until you put the helmet on and strap back in.
Some guys, who is it?
They're probably relishing the ride in the wind right now.
Yeah.
It's probably hot in there. We're talking about a heat index that creeped up into the mid 90s today, where yesterday it stayed into the 80s. It was overcast, but
not now. It's bright out there.
The fans on the beach enjoying the shot as both the winning boats making a couple of victory laps in front of them. You see how close you can get to watch these races on the white sandy beaches here in Clearwater, Florida.
Congratulations to Austin Blocker, making a name for himself in the performance boat world. And he throttles the Drinkilo boat, and they had their first podium recently.
That's right.
Like to see the young blood coming up through and making a name for himself.
We still got racing coming up. The Pro Class 1 teams will come out to wrap up our 2 days of racing here.
6-lap sprint race.
Yep, a finale to yesterday's. As you can see, yesterday's first heat. That's the winning boat on the outside there. And we flip around and see the 2X Insurance teams. And Dirty Money Super Cat now pulling alongside. They've already transferred the driver and throttleman into the X Insurance South 47-foot victory in Pro Class 1.
Yeah, so the crew will just move the Super Cat boat out of the way, and then they'll get that one ready for the crane.
So the points are tight in Pro Class 1. And we'll recap that for you as the boats head out and get ready to start here. As Eric mentioned on that 6-lap heat. But the race we just saw was quite exciting early. It was a battle where Graydell had to come around the first turn and gain some speed on the outside, and then started to move away from Dirty Money on their way to hold the lead the rest of the 12 laps, Eric.
Yeah, you would think, oh, wow, Dirty Money has the inside lane. They're going to defend it. They should be, but that didn't happen. So I don't know if it was just that much of a superior setup for Graydell, or...
I mean, still there. Look, as Dirty Money noses through, but Graydell was able to come back around and then start extending that lead. Here's the start of the Superstock race with Sean Tarente and Matt Jaminski early having an advantage over Wozenkraft, and it would become, they would stay close to each other, pull away from the Doug Wright. So the victory hole out of Manatee Marine finished about 18 seconds off the lead, but it was all about Team Nautical Ventures and the 32 STR catamaran.
Well, it seems like all year, anytime they get the lead at the start, they pull away.
Yeah. This was right when, after that first turn, when Dirty Money nosed ahead, but by the time Great Elk came around on the north end,
yeah, this outer leg,
this is where they'll end up taking the lead. And they wouldn't relinquish it from there.
No, once
they had more speed.
Once they had it, they kept it.
Kudos to Austin Blocker, Outlaw Performance, Southwest Florida, the entire team, Dan, and the group from Toronto. Back to Superstock, great shot down the tunnel of the STR catamaran. One of the lowest profile aerodynamic boats that you'll see in Superstock.
Yeah, and the Wozenkraft isn't much different.
It isn't.
It's pretty low profile as well.
Good shot overhead of Team Nautical Ventures early in the race when it was still pretty close.
Yeah, and you can see there, you know, Jeremy's trying to get an inside line to shorten up the course, but
and we still had 3 buoys then. Then the 2 leaders
in their respective races.
That's right, Supercat and Superstock. Again, a matchup of 1,600 horsepower and 600 horsepower, bigger, heavier, faster boats, but they were there together. The 2 winners, Great L and Supercat, and Team Nautical Ventures in Superstock.
There's what's left of the buoy.
Dirty Money, they'll be looking to defend their World Championship. Yeah, we just got taken out by the Dirty Money team, the buoy did. They'll be looking to defend their World Championship, I'm sorry, in Key West. We just saw Great Dell take the checkered flag, and Team Nautical Ventures here earlier in this race, and victorious day for Great Dell. Back to
Superstock, Nautical Ventures, the victor, followed by Team Wozenkraft and Demon Bikini. And there's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers boat.
So let's take a break. We'll get you set for Pro Class 1 racing when we come back. The X Insurance Clearwater Nationals, more to come. The Pro Class 1 teams when we return.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
To me, being a mountain guide is just the greatest opportunity to share my passion for skiing and climbing with people who are new to it. My main goal out there is to take care of and shepherd other people through the mountains, make sure that they don't get hurt, they don't get into trouble, guide them to places they always wanted to go but needed the skill set and knowledge of a guide to help them in accomplishing that goal. And then come back safe. No 2 days are ever the same in the mountains. Everything changes, the weather, the avalanche hazards. Not everything is really perfectly safeguarded. The mountains are an uncertain place. So it's a fine line, but I think when you can trust somebody and you do push them to a higher level, it's really rewarding. Ultimately, it's not a question of if any accident's ever going to happen if you're doing a lot of mountain guiding, but it's when. The knowledge that we have a really strong partner in our insurance company is essential. I'm helping my clients achieve great things in the mountains, achieve their goals in the mountains, and that's what X Insurance does for me. They were there for us when we needed them. They're providing an opportunity for us to go out and guide mountain climbing and backcountry skiing in the beautiful Wasatch Range, and that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable at all doing without a great insurance company behind us. I know that I can trust them and I can go forward with confidence.
X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. We're ready for our race final. We've had a big weekend, and today's already some exciting action down the classes, but the Pro Class 1 teams are getting set to come out and race for the final time this year and determine the national championship in World Professional Powerboat Race Association, WPRA. So Pro Class 1, it's a 6-lap race. So tell you a little bit more about propeller selections that help make these boats go at 140 miles an hour in Pro Class 1.
Comes to propellers, yeah, it's probably one of the most important things we have as far as a tuning aid with the boats. We carry around 20 sets of props with us. These 3 cabinets are all full of propellers. Basically, on this end of the case, we start with bigger pitch, which would be like a higher gear, so to run faster. So we go from the bottom up and we change diameters, which either changes the lift of the boat. Smaller diameter, set it down on its rear end, a bigger picks the back end up. So it lets it run flatter, or vice versa, carry the nose. Most of these props are done at half pitches, so we can fine tune basically on 100 RPMs, where a full prop change pitch is about 200 plus RPMs. This case right here is basically full of a mixture of Mercury and Herrings. Those are the 2 brands we all run in the offshore racing. We can pull one out, and this is a Herring. They look like a piece of jewelry after they get finished and sent to us. Very sharp edges. This prop's a higher rake prop. It's an 18-degree, 16.5 diameter. Basically a typical setup we'd run on the Super Cat on a normal flat water day. As it gets rougher, we go to a lower rake prop, which acts almost like trim. So as you go down on the rake, it lays the nose over. So instead of us having to trim the boat as hard, this prop will automatically put the nose over, make the boat run flatter. So as you get in big water, it's going to try to fly flat all the time. This prop's going to carry the nose, which in big water, you don't want to be doing this the whole time. Yeah, so the pricing on these, the Herrings, they're around $16,500 a set. And the Mercury's are around $12,000 a set. So a little difference in price, but a little difference in material that they use, and but both great props.
Yeah, Pothole Heroes coming out for the Pro Class 1 race. Bill Pyburn of the X Insurance South Dirty Money team there, and describing how important propeller selection is. Here at Pro Class 1, it's even more complicated than that, is that, you know, a boat like this, a shaft and rudder boat, they can change their gears more rapidly, but they have less propeller choices. Whereas the number 6 boats, they're pretty much stuck with their gear ratios, and they have more propeller selections.
Yeah, they made a rule change this season to let the teams with the shaft, with the BPM surface drives, go from 3 sets of props to 6.
Mm-hmm.
But the I'm pretty sure the number 6 boats can pretty much carry what they want.
Yep, and then the Monster Energy team there, one of those number 6 boats. Also, when you have the number 6 boats like the GC Racing team here, you can deploy the tunnel tab. You know, I mean, with the rudder, you can't deploy that tunnel at the
right.
You have no place to put it at the base of the transom, but they can compress more air down the tunnel and gain some speed in the straightaways. You can't deploy the tunnel, too dangerous in the turns, but you carry a 250-pound weight penalty. These boats weigh 11,800 pounds without the penalty, without the tunnel tab. And they have the twin 1100 Mercury Racing QC4V 1100 turbocharged quad cam 4-valve engines. And Monster Energy last year won the World National points in the United States. They sit number 2 behind the boat in the middle, X Insurance South, who's atop the national points lead right now, but it is a slim lead as we go into the race finale here, with the X Insurance South 414, Monster Energy 408, and GC Racing 402. To determine who the WPRA national champion will be inside the cockpit of X Insurance South. Britt Lilly to the left, Bill Pyburn to the right. Pro Class 1 race finale, X Insurance South finishing in 3rd. GC Racing carried the day yesterday with the fastest lap time of the day, 2:33.21 in qualifying. And GC will again have lane number 1 because, they'll go from yesterday's finish. Monster Energy in 2nd will be in lane 2, and X Insurance South in lane 3. So they're coming around. They'll line these boats up, Eric, get them set, and a running start down the southbound beachside lane, and get them set to the 2 green pins, which are about halfway down the course, or somewhere in that general vicinity.
Yeah,
try and have them release only when they go through that gate.
Yeah, instead of a checkered flag, instead of a green flag, they have the green buoys. But if anyone is ahead of the pace boat, or if someone appears to have an advantage, they get to the green buoys before the rest of the boats, they will be penalized.
So we're watching from the inside of the course, looking at our pace boat. Now for the X Insurance Helicam overhead. There's JJ Turk, Nick Buis, and the X Insurance North. That's an MTI hull. Back overhead, the 2 top boats in the point standing. So before we get to the start of the Pro Class 1 race, let's head to the pits where our partner Tristan Garvin is there with the winners of the Team Nautical Ventures team, Sean Torrente, Matt Jaminski.
Hey, you guys just got that first place, checkered flag. How's it feel?
Man, let me tell you something. That boat is getting so good, and Matt is like, it's just every race it gets so much better. That's one of the reasons we came here. We wanted him to get more laps, and setup was perfect. The guys did a great job. Mercury Racing did their job. Motors ran the whole time, and the STR powerboat came out on top. Beat one of the toughest boats in the country in that victory. So for us, it's a big deal. And now we're ready for Key West.
Matt?
Yeah, like Sean said, it was a big day for us. Not everybody was here, but we're really, really happy to win. And every lap, I get more comfortable. We learn what the boat can do, and onwards and upwards.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Tristan. Happy words from Sean and Matt of Team Nautical Ventures, your winner in Super Stock and what appears to be your national championship team from WPRA in 2025. Look at our starting grid in Pro Class 1. These boats can top out in the 140-mile-an-hour range.
A little bit of jitters, no doubt, as we look at Britt Lilly and Bill Pyburn. And
see Bill with his hands on the
he's
throttles.
Shifting now in and out of gear. The shorter levers are your shift controls. The taller ones are your throttles. So he's just kind of keeping them in position for when they finally get them going and on plane. They'll put them on plane to 50 miles an hour. take them up to those green buoys that we talked about a little bit ago, and then they're all supposed to be lined up and take off when they hit the buoys. So let's see how this works, and they're going to get them rolling right now.
You see the pace boat with the yellow flag up. They're supposed to stay back, and they're supposed to come up at about 50 miles an hour.
Your chief referee, Bob Teague, and the Race World Offshore president, Larry Blyle, are both on that boat.
No one is supposed to edge in front. No one is supposed to jump the start. There's, you know, some people can be accused of slingshotting, kind of laying back and then catching speed and catching up, and they can't do that either. But appears that they're lining up pretty decently here.
Well, let's see though.
Willie's on the inside, so the other boats have got to come up to him.
Yep,
and line up.
He's kind of establishing the lanes.
This looks like a really good lineup at this point.
Yep,
and they're very close to the gate. This will be the start of Pro Class 1, our final race of the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. And the race is on for the WPRA National Championship in Pro Class 1.
Looked like a clean start, so let's see who's set up for acceleration here early. And Monster Energy getting out to the early lead. Tyler Miller, Myrick Coyle, but Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggeman on the inside and the MTI are not letting them run away.
Well, the top three lanes, they look pretty close in speed. GC's going to have the inside lane, and we'll edge forward in a shorter way around the south end.
Defending that inside lane, and here comes Monster Energy in second. X Insurance South should be third. They've just started their first lap. X Insurance North
seems to be following up the field. I think Pothole Heroes is in fourth. So GC Racing has a nose, but it looks like carrying speed is Monster Energy, Tyler Miller, and Myrick Coyle.
This is the same place where Graydell made its move in the Super Cat race in this outer leg in front of the spectator fleet. So let's see how what they have for them.
Battle for
fourth and fifth.
Yeah, fourth and fifth with Pothole Heroes, Carlos de Quesada and John Tomlinson in the victory hole versus the Marine Technologies. X Insurance North, Nick Buis, JJ Turk in fourth. Back to our leaders, you can see they're side by side. GC Racing, again, continuing to hold the inside lane. But in their hip pocket is Monster.
Willie's trying to defend that line because he knows if Myrick gets 2 boat lengths over him, he can take the lane.
Really turned tight. Monster goes wide. X Insurance South dives to the inside. Now is to skate off of the wake of both boats into the outside. GC Racing with the lead. Monster Energy in second. X Insurance South in third.
Yeah, that was just a situation where Myrick went wide but then came back in and didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't anything. He had the room to come across back in front of X Insurance South, but that's why Britt Lilly, the driver of X Insurance South, had to go wide. And now we're set up with GC Racing all the way to the left in the inside lane, Monster Energy in the middle, X Insurance outside.
All right, so Marine Technologies in the lead after lap number 1 of 6, followed by Monster Energy in second. X Insurance South will be in third, but Willie Cabeza, Grant Bruggeman
turning lap 1, yep.
Turning that lap at over 135 miles an hour. I have unofficially Monster Energy second, X Insurance South third. Well, they seem to all make good choices on prop selection. They'll lose some speed in the turn, now into the straightaway. Now the 2 top boats can deploy their tunnel tabs. They're going to have extra speed down the straightaways. Those are number 6 stern drive boats.
The DSR of offshore racing. Wow, look at them checking out now a little bit.
Yukon 129 miles an hour, just a couple of miles an hour off. We'll have to check the speed on GC on that last one. But both boats right at the 130 mile an hour plus mark. Monster Energy in second. X Insurance South trying to get in front of Monster. They really need to finish in front of Monster Energy in order for them to win the WPRA National Championship. GC 131 miles an hour. Unofficially on lap number 1, Monster 129.
But even if it stays like this, I don't think GC would have enough for the title.
Well, yeah, GC really needs X Insurance South and Monster to drop off and fall back in the pack.
So that's unlikely at this point, but we're still, it's only a 6-lap race though.
If Monster stays in front of X Insurance, we could have a tie in a tiebreaker situation. But we'll have to see how it sorts out. This is lap 2 of 6. The GC Racing picks up right where they left off yesterday in Pro Class 1, carrying the pace.
Yeah, and how?
Monster Energy in second. Athena, Kansas. 428 Skater. There's the 482 Marine Technologies in the lead. Willie Cabeza, Graham Bruggeman of Grand Signature Racing.
Willie
went
out
up and
Pine
down the
Crest,
classes.
Florida. Yep.
I mean, Grant's won in all kinds of classes. Imcon 3 seconds off the pace of the leader. X Insurance South 7 seconds back. They'll have that 250-pound penalty because they have the tunnel tab, so they have to add some extra weight to the boat. But again, here, down the straightaway, they can deploy, compress more air down the tunnel, get some extra lift. Watch the leaders coming straight down the northbound leg. Watch those Pro Class 1s bounce on the water. The X Insurance Helicam.
Perfectly trimmed in that boat. He's just flying across the tops of the waves. There's not much chop.
On lap number 3 of 6, almost to the halfway point. Another excellent turn by Willie. Monster Energy stalking. X Insurance South close.
Yep, that's the X Insurance South coming out of the turn. They don't seem to have the acceleration they had earlier this year, because they were flying at Michigan City.
Marine Technologies hull. See the top 3 in the screen now. Back to number 32 GC Racing. Clocking that at 2 minutes 21 seconds. That's a 132.67 mile an hour lap. Lap number 4 of 6. Monster Energy. Tyler Miller, Myrick Coyle, 2-time Super Cat champions in Imcon. Trailing GC in second. Skater. Imcon just a couple, 3 miles an hour slower than GC on that last lap. All these boats paired with the Mercury 1100 turbocharged QC4V engines. This boat was converted from a shaft rudder boat to stern drive boat. Peter led in record time. Watch the boats skip the water and head right into the north turn. More time around. Back down in front of the fans on the beach. Goes GC Racing.
We should be coming up the end of lap 5, right? Or is this when he crosses? We'll see.
I'm a lap behind. There's the Dirty Money Racing team inside the cockpit of X Insurance South. Part of a two-team field for X Insurance in Pro Class 1. Your leader, GC Racing.
Marine Technology Inc. Kind of a factory effort for the boat company based out of Wentzville, Missouri. Calls Lake of the Ozarks home. That should be the end of lap 5. Here's your third place boat.
X Insurance South.
Had some Guardian issues yesterday.
Oh, there, goodness. They're with GC Racing, I believe.
Wow.
Goodness. Oh, dear.
GC Racing went over. And this will most likely be a red flag in the end of it. They're not going to restart it for one lap, I wouldn't think, but we'll see.
We just caught the end of that. Safety divers go in. If you're new to racing, the cockpits are contained. There's a safety hatch on the underneath the tunnel of the boat. The team have air and oxygen inside. They have to get themselves out of their restraints. This is a practice that they have to take to be able to race, to extricate themselves from
Let's
the
see
boats.
what happened here. They looked to be in so smooth. Let's see here. Coming into the turn.
Follow them around.
Oh, just hooked.
Just hooked and came over. Both the driver and throttle man we're hearing are out and all safe. If you look at that replay, gosh.
Yes.
Both Grant and Willie on the tunnel of the boat with the SSR safety crew. Kudos to Sean Steiner, J.R. Anderson's group of 15. They're deployed in the air. They're deployed on safety boats. Strategically,
the speed at which they arrived.
Yes.
It was like, I don't even think the boat had fully come to rest and there was a diver in the water. So
amazing.
Very grateful to those guys and the effort that they put in, because they develop all this training on their own. There's no book for this to be a rescue team in this sport.
So this flag is flagged at this point, and race officials will have to determine whether they'll restart on what we think was probably a lap and a half or 2 laps left. There are 2 laps left in this race.
Historically, if you've completed more than 50%, they might not, but because the national championship is so close and your top 2 contenders are still out on the water, they may restart it.
Well,
I mean, the permit goes till 5, so
sure,
we're not
yeah, I think that race officials will contemplate this. And then where would you put Monster and where would you put a Dirty Money? Because they had not passed that boat. They were trailing it.
Right, well, Monster, as far as in the finish positions?
Yeah.
Well, they crossed the finish line. I guess that was the end of lap 4.
We'll let the officials sort it out and pass that information on to you. Again, Willie Gabesa, Grant Bruggerman,
they're out of the boat and okay. That's the main
over
thing.
In the south turn, just kind of hooked it and rolled it over, and both are safe. Both are out of the cockpit. And
we'll take another look at it here.
Take another look at it. And they've been motoring right along, cruising for 2 days in Pro Class 1. Here you can see it slide a little bit.
Just grabbed a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And grabbed and over. Goodness. Bad luck for the GC Racing team, but the good news is the men are well.
New boat this year. Unfortunately now, as we all know, when this stuff happens in salt water, engines got to come out. All the wiring will have to be replaced. They got a lot of work to do before Key West if they want to try to be down there.
They'll get to it. You know that they were just tasting victory.
Yes.
For the first time, you know, officially, because this is a 2-race format. So you had to win, you know, you had to finish up good today.
Had to win both, or not win both, but
certainly get the points to win, to take the overall victory. They were right there to be on the top of the podium. And
I mean, ideally, the best way to get the boat back in would be to roll it over out here and tow it in on its bottom. It does a lot less damage, but we'll have to see, because that's a big boat to do that with. It's not like this is a super stock boat that you can just muscle it over. This is 48 feet.
Biggest boat in the class.
So the divers all got in.
Yeah. Now the other thing is your Angel divers that got
jumped from the helicopter.
They've got to get back in the helicopter. So we got to get them back to shore and in the helicopter. So there's a lot that's going to take place right now, and we'll see if they'll try and right the.
Unless they had 2 in the helicopter, but only 1 deployed.
And then obviously race officials have to make a decision on where this race stands.
Yeah.
Where this incident happened was in the turn.
Just past start finish.
Yeah, you had to, red flag to keep the boats from moving through that area. So the boats at the time, GC was in first, Monster in second, X-Insurance South in third.
Doesn't look like they're trying to attempt to roll it over. It looks like they're just getting it in as quick as they can.
Concerned onlookers from Pier 60.
I mean, that's pretty. It's a pretty short tow to the crane, right? That's one of the reasons why.
Too far, yes. No, certainly not. They're going to restart. Yeah, we're hearing they're going to do a restart. How many? We'll find out how many laps in a moment.
Yep.
So a lot has to be deployed, as we mentioned. If they are going to do a restart, we've got to get safety back into position. We've obviously got 1 towboat that's tied up at the moment.
They may do something where they just hold the boat in the middle of the course until they complete the 2 laps.
Yeah, it's so far off, they'll probably just pull it to the south, I would imagine. Get it a little bit closer to the cranes. You can see that the cranes are right at the end of the bridge.
Oh yeah, I
the
see
left.
them
So they're really not far away.
And that wouldn't impinge on the course in any way. So that's the smart move, is just
much easier to, We're going to take another look at a replay of the event and really focus in on how quickly the safety team deploys here, Eric.
Yeah. Here slides, it goes over.
This is real time.
And boom. Now watch the center console come in from the left of your screen. And right there. And they're already
Divers
going
in the water.
I think that was, what, 20 seconds?
Here comes, Angel on the scene in less than 30 seconds.
No, both of them went in. So, yeah, we are going to have to get divers back.
2 more divers
in the Angel helicopter. So that'll take some logistics. And now they've got the boat under tow. Probably just going to go straight to the cranes with it.
You know, we make a lot about the heroism of these drivers and the high speeds and the G's. The real heroes are the rescue divers and the men of SSR rescue team, Sean Steinert and J.R. Anderson's crew.
Yeah, I mean, there was no hesitation. So this is why we're here. We're going in.
And thankfully, onto the X Insurance North cam. We've heard tentatively there's going to be a restart. We'll cautiously be optimistic that there is, as we look from inside X Insurance North. We're wondering what the item dangling from the top of the cockpit. It's a good luck charm that J.J. Turk has.
Yep. It was a gift, and take any luck you can get.
Yeah, don't move it.
Yes.
Yeah, you might you might get smacked. So our Pro Class 1 boats are out and motoring again.
Yeah, they would use the same start procedure, so they're going to take them up to the other end of the course. If they're going to do a restart, they'll bring them down and start them again at the green buoys. So it's just a matter of how long does it take to get 2 more divers in the helicopter? Where can they put the helicopter down? Because a lot of times they have to go back to an airport, and they would bring the divers into shore by boat.
Yeah, I think that there is another good thing about the Sand Key Park area is there's places for helicopters to land there, and as long as they have enough fuel, we wouldn't have any issues with that. And so then you could just get the divers back to Sand Key, and all you have to do is get the boats back deployed to the race course. Look at overhead at the boats that were running second and third. Second was Monster Energy, third X Insurance South. And these two teams, I mean, when we came into the day, X Insurance South in the national point standings had 414 points after yesterday. Monster Energy 408. I mean, you're talking about a difference of 16 points, but...
So now does this become an unexpected opportunity for X Insurance South?
I mean, it seemed that they were stuck in third place.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for X Insurance South to finish second to Monster, that would a tie. We could see the divers coming off at the dry pits. We're told that Grant and Willie are on the safety boat that you see in the middle of the screen. Try and keep it here. Members of the
MTI
yeah, the
teams.
MTI GC Racing team.
They're going to do a 3-lap. They're going to restart and run a 3-lap race. So now the team is already in. Okay, let's get this thing in and get it out of the salt. They've got the straps ready.
Yep.
They want that boat out of the water as quickly as possible.
Good point. Yep, they've got the straps ready to go. Let's get this boat over here. Let's get it up and out of the water. They've got a lot of work to do.
So the lanes for the restart will just be the running order of the remaining boats, which was Monster Energy be inside lane, will be lane 1, X Insurance South lane 2.
And you see Grant and Willie on the stern of the boat there.
Yep.
The fire boat, Clearwater Fire and Rescue. Good to see them well. J.R. Anderson, you see the
Pothole Heroes team is all there. I mean, these guys will all help each other get that boat and try to just make sure everyone's okay. Willie's smiling, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, Tristan, you can see talking with Grant. We'll try and get them up from the pits for you here momentarily with a pit report. So a 3-lap race to finish here in Pro Class 1 after GC Racing turns over on the south turn here in front of the fans on Clearwater Beach. As the remaining Pro Class 1 boats wait for a restart. And now,
and there shouldn't be fuel concerns or anything, because they were going to run a 6-lap race anyway, and no one's run a whole bunch of extra idling around, so they should have enough fuel. That shouldn't come into play, really.
the boys just got to sit there and wait. And it's building heat here in Clearwater. We talked about a heat index in the mid-90s. Not seeing anything on radar, like any showers that might come in and push the winds up unexpectedly here over the next.
But we are seeing white caps that we haven't seen most of the afternoon.
Yeah, there for a little bit we did earlier, but you know they said there was a bit of a rolling swell, and you can expect potentially that to build a little bit. But I believe these, 40 to 47-foot catamarans can handle it.
Oh yeah, they'll roll across the top. It's more if it's a crosswind, what it would do to them is they're trying to run straight down the back stretch or the front stretch. If it's going to make them crab, which basically takes away speed.
Currently at Clearwater Beach, according to the National Weather Service, we have a heat index of 92. The wind out of the northwest at 8. So the wind still really not quite a factor.
Right.
Even though the boats it's quartering into them, not straight down the tunnel. But still, you'd most be concerned if the winds got up above 15, near 20 miles an hour. As you can see, as the seas coming off the Gulf, as Eric mentioned, it's white capping just a little bit.
So I'm assuming that's the X-Insurance helicopter we see in the frame, because they don't carry the divers.
Yep, and they're overhead now of the remaining grid. Remember, these boats will race again, but it will be for a 3-race World Championship in Key West the first week in November. It is the pinnacle in offshore racing in the world over the last 5 decades. 44th annual Race World Offshore Key West World Championships. Full schedule events, VIP tickets at raceworldoffshore.com. 3 days of racing in 5 days. And you talk up and down the ranks, all the legends of the sport, and all the guys that hope to put their name on the trophy with them.
Yeah.
This is the greatest achievement you could have to win in Key West.
Well, we just got word the other day through Matt Trulio at Speed on the Water that Steve Curtis and the Sheikh from Qatar will be back in Key West, but in the extreme class.
That'll be cool to see.
The problem for
replay
here
of
we
the
are with
incident
the replay.
that's held up the race to this point is GC Racing went over in the lead with only a couple laps left.
Oh,
so
they just reduced the laps to 2.
So race officials now say this is a 2-lap heat. So Monster Energy was right there and did come around them. Yep. Back to the live shot of the boat being towed in as the MTI team is waiting to crane it out of the water. And race officials now reducing this down to a 2-lap heat because of fuel concerns by the teams. They're only going to carry as much fuel as they have to, a little extra potentially, but all of that goes into the setup of the boat. So now it's going to be a 2-lap heat.
If it was a rougher race, they'd just put more fuel in it, and that acts as ballast. So to keep the boat down. But in these waters, for these big boats, you only want to carry as much as you need to win the race.
Well, you mentioned Steve Curtis coming back, Sheikh Jabor Thin Al Thani of Qatar, and the X-Insurance South boat, one of their old boats.
Yep.
That they used to race. Of course, they went on some big speed runs together. They set the world speed record, I think, of the Ozarks, the 1-mile category at like 2:44 with turbines.
Right, and then Steve just reset it with, I forget the gentleman's name, but he's the president of the International Hot Rod Association, in the same boat, 2:42, but it was the 3/4 mile course.
That's right.
So they actually probably accelerated better to do 2:42 in the 3/4 mile versus 2:44 in the full mile.
Race officials are waiting for the return of safety and support vessels, so we're expecting to get these boats back up and moving on the grid in 3 or 4 minutes.
And the Steve and the Sheik will be running in the extreme class.
So waiting for safety crew members to get back on station to start this thing as we look into the cockpit of Pothole Heroes. John Tomlinson's window of view from his throttle man position.
You know, it would be nice to see the Sheik and Steve have some competition in the extreme class.
Beautiful shot of a Clearwater beach here from overhead.
That new, I believe it's a 50 skater, owned by a gentleman named Jeff Stevenson, whose throttleman is Michael Stancombe. See if we can nudge the JBS team and say, yeah, we'll go race against Steve and the Sheik in Key West.
We ought to be able to put on a good show together.
Public shame them.
So, hope to see the American Custom Marine boat. It's a V-bottom, but they came out and ran some races on the RWO and PRO season.
Unfortunately, it would not be with their regular driver, Chris Uzi, who just sustained some injuries in a boating accident. And we wished him well earlier and just would like to see him have a speedy recovery.
As we await safety crew to get back on station, we're getting ready for a 2-lap sprint that will determine today's heat win.
Yep.
And likely potentially the WPRA national champion. And that battle is going to be between the team on the left, the black Monster Energy, and the team to its right, X Insurance South. Back to the crane area where they are going to crane that boat out of the water.
Yeah, so what they'll probably try to do is get the ropes on one side to lift it up to drain it and flip it over. And then they'll put the straps on that they would normally put on to pick it up and put it on the trailer.
Stay with the shot as long as we can. Most important thing that the owner driver Willie Gabesa and his throttleman Grant Bruggeman are well. Saw them back at the pits.
Willie smiled when he got off the safety boat. So,
well, I remember when he was racing with Gary Ballou and they went over a marathon. And Gary told me, he said to him, Gary was kind of cringing a little bit, and Willie's like, well, at least we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
I'm not sure he was looking for that response in Pro Class 1.
We're rolling the boats to get them on plane, so they are restarting this race.
We are ready to go. This is a 2-lap heat. Monster Energy will have the inside lane. X Insurance
South
will have lane 2.
X Insurance North, lane 3, and Pothole Heroes, lane 4.
So they're getting right to it, folks. A 2-lap sprint to determine today's winner and possibly the WPRA national champion. They will officially go when they go through that green buoy gate.
There it
buoy
is.
on each side, you see it. And folks, in Pro Class 1, the race is on. Monster Energy on the inside with speed. X Insurance North.
With speed too.
But X Insurance North carrying a lot of speed. Now, will they move over in front of X Insurance South?
Has to be 2 boat lengths for the overlap.
It's very close.
Yeah.
They seem to be holding their lane.
Look at Pothole Heroes coming
Maybe
up.
Protecting their teammates in X Insurance South. IMCON and X Insurance North. You can see X Insurance South, they're carrying up the rear. But X Insurance North, farther away around the turn. Pothole Heroes going wide of them.
Yeah, so that's just the longest way around.
As we look overhead, see where these boats have settled in.
Looks like Monster Energy is leading, but now X Insurance South.
Yeah, where did X Insurance North go? Monster Energy has the lead. Pothole Heroes holding up fourth. X Insurance South in second. And this looks like a mirror image of the previous race. X Insurance South about 3 seconds behind. 5 seconds is X Insurance North. We've only got 2 laps here, folks.
Monster really wants X Insurance North in between them and South if they could have.
Absolutely.
But I don't see any sign of X Insurance North. So
I mean, unofficially, if they finish in this order, I have them tied. Now, are they carrying speed on the outside, X Insurance South?
Let's see. Here they come into the buoy.
Hard to
So
tell.
we've already
Sometimes these angles are deceiving, but no. Monster Energy holding the inside lane.
Yep.
And the lead.
Oh, there's North. They're still battling. So they're gonna. This is gonna be the end of lap 1 when they come down past the start boat, or the finish line rather, the yellow buoy.
Monster Energy with a good lead.
That's
and after
Insurance
this, there'll
South
be
is
1
in
lap
second.
to go. Yep,
Yep.
they're in second. To determine the WPRA National Championship. The tiebreakers are speed and distance traveled during the season. So we're not going to, if they end up like this, we're not going to be able to tell you who the national championship is until tonight at the awards. But Monster Energy has the lead after lap 1 of 2. Tyler Miller and Myra Coyle, they are on their game today.
Yes, they are.
The only thing that stopped them earlier was GC Racing, but they have been retired after flipping in heat number 2. And Monster Energy out for the last lap of the day in the lead in Pro Class 1. Team that won the national points last year. X Insurance South in second. Bill Pyburn, Britt Lilly. Monster Energy turned that lap at 135.5 miles an hour around the course in just over 2 minutes, 25 seconds. X Insurance South in chase. But they may know that they could tie them in points finishing there. There's your grid heading northbound. Back to the number 3 boat. JJ Turk, Nick Buis, X Insurance North. There's your leader, Monster. Moving towards the camera. X Insurance South to the outside, North to the inside. Pothole Heroes following up. Monster Energy in the lead, a half lap to go. X Insurance South in second. Around the north turn for the final time this weekend, the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals.
Yeah, it's going to be Tyler Miller and Myra Coyle possibly winning another championship. Didn't they win the national title last year?
They won the World Points Championship during the season in Monster Energy, no doubt about it.
Yep.
And here comes your Pro Class 1 leader, Monster Energy, followed by X Insurance South. This will be the checkered flag in Pro Class 1. Your winner on this Sunday, Monster Energy Racing, Tyler Miller, Myrick Coyle. 428 skater with Mercury 1100 QC4V turbocharged 1100 horsepower engines. They take first. X Insurance South second. And X Insurance North third. Pothole Heroes will take fourth. Second lap, 131.8. First lap, 132.5. Monster Energy, your winner here today. And unofficially, folks, and we will tell you unofficially, it's still a lot of tech that has to go on, with X Insurance South finishing 4 seconds behind and North 7 seconds off the leader.
Say congratulations to their crew chief, Jake Leckliter, and his team.
They work hard there.
They do.
They are a good bunch. at IMCON Racing. Monster Energy, proud of their team on the water, winners today.
The second start is under review. So
we're hearing
the
from Race
restart
Control.
is under review.
Well, again, another reason why you see unofficial on that leaderboard. But there's your winner, Monster Energy. And again, unofficially, you know, coming into the day, X Insurance South had 414 points, Monster 408. So with the win and the 4 bonus points, Monster gets 54 points. So they have 462 national points. X Insurance South gets 48 points, which includes 3 bonus points. They have the exact number of 462.
It would be
so
good
this will
to
go
know,
to a tiebreaker.
It would be good to know what they're reviewing from the start. Didn't look like anyone jumped.
Well,
that's
nobody's
why
got a
on the
better
pace boat.
view than the eyes and the GoPro on the transom of that start boat.
Right.
Some of these camera angles can be tough sometimes. But here's Myrick and Tyler taking the checkered flag. Good catch, Mr. Miller.
Pretty cool when the president of Race World Offshore throws you the flag, too.
That's right.
Pretty sure that was Larry Blyle that made the toss.
And they'd love to have that happen again in Key West in a month at the RWO World Championships. Great into the season for them for a second straight year in Pro Class 1. Monster Energy Racing. See if they could add that to their... Yeah, see if we can go back and look at the start, but another great accomplishment for Monster Energy IMCON Racing. Here's the start again. We're looking for the green buoys.
Yeah, I think that it's already happened.
Yeah, might have to go back a little further to get that. You know, X Insurance South is way behind.
Right. So I wonder if they're
what did Bob say if you were behind?
Yeah, there is a rule that if you're behind by too much, you get penalized as well. It's basically your responsibility to get up there and get in line. So it's both sides of it. If you jump, you're penalized, but if you're also lagging back and you're not up with the other boats, you could be penalized.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes your engines can not come up to spool up as quick as they should. That'd be interesting to see. I think that's the slingshot rule where they're worrying about guys trying to gain a lot of speed and then rush up to through the grid with some extra speed.
And some of the teams did talk about
so we're going to continue to take a look at that from our master control, see if we can glean anything out of the video. Back to the,
Oh, they've already righted the 482 MTI, so it is. We'd like to see, if we have footage of how they righted that boat, that would be cool.
Show us how that boat was righted, pumping the water out. Great to see it upright.
But the amazing thing, one of the guys was telling me who was having some Guardian issues. The water temperatures down here compared to Michigan City, it's like 20 to 30 degrees warmer. So you've got that much extra heat going through those engines. And I could see where a sensor would say, like, okay, this water's too hot, I'm putting you in Guardian.
Try and endeavor to show you the replay.
Here's the
turning this boat over.
Righting of the GC Racing Marine Technologies boat. This is a skilled crane operator right here. But it's leverage. And some strong straps.
Yeah, no.
if they, because they'll get it past a certain point, and then all the water will drop to the opposite side of the boat. This side will be light, and it'll go over, and then they drain it afterwards. But yeah, so there you go.
Deliberate process.
Nicely done.
Yep. Gravity takes over. So they're saying that the results are official now, and that's where the boats have finished. Monster Energy 1, X Insurance South 2nd, X Insurance North 3rd, Pothole Heroes will take 4th. And again, these are all unofficial. These boats will be teched. If my scoring is correct here, that for the WPRA National Championship leaves Monster Energy and X Insurance South tied at 462, and WPRA and Race World Offshore scoring will have to go to their rule book for the official tiebreakers. Well, what an afternoon of racing. There, as we look at the checkered flag from race day 2 of Monster Energy, finished 2nd yesterday. They, of course, overall will have the win here in with the 2 days combined of points.
Yeah, because they were 2nd yesterday, and now the win today.
Yeah, before GC Racing went out, they were dominant.
Yeah,
they had the inside lane, and they had the speed as they had on Saturday.
But that just shows you how, in an instant, things could not be going your way. And then I don't think it was anything that it just happened. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I agree.
I mean, it didn't look like any oversteering was done or anything.
Monster Energy was competitive early.
Yeah.
They had speed. They had nosed out in front early.
Yeah, that was a
great move by Willie. They took the inside line, pushed Monster way outside, as well as X Insurance South, and that helped. Yeah. This is where it went wrong for them.
Running out front, many years ago, I was out Thunder on the Ohio, a hydroplane race on the
restart of the 2nd race. X Insurance South getting off to a slow start.
Their starts were not their strong suit today.
Strong was X Insurance North early.
Yeah. But Myrick and Tyler just defended that inside lane, and
Monster Energy. They'll come through this turn in the lead. It was just a 2-lap sprint. By the time they took the shortest way around the south end 3-pin turn, they were in control of the race.
Well, it's another example of just having such an experienced, good driver.
Yep.
Holding that line, defending that lane.
They're a team as they take the checkered flag and the win in race 2 here in Pro Class 1. Victorious Monster Energy Racing. And now back to the pits.
Yep, back to the pits with the one of many checkered flags for this duo.
2-time Super Cat World Champions. 3-time national champions. They won the World Points title last year in this class.
Yep. First full year, right?
Yeah. Now they're going to be in the chase for the Race World Offshore, the highly coveted Race World Offshore World Championship. Expecting a big field of Pro Class 1 boats, up to 7, maybe 8 boats expected in Key West.
Yeah, we'll have, I've heard that DeFalco says they'll be there.
Well, they're the reigning RWO World Champions. They won last year, but remember, 222 Offshore had come back to defend their title, and they had led every lap last year, but
their escape hatch fell out
right on the last lap.
Yep.
But hey, listen, DeFalco was right on them.
Yeah,
the whole way, all 3 days. But that was the opening they needed, and they came around and won the World Championship last year. We'd love to see Darren Nicholson and Giovanni Carpatella back in the 222 Offshore. That boat's It was on in mothballs last year, and they came back and all they did was win. But we'd like to see if you guys could do that again. You're always welcome in the southernmost city of Key West.
Also like to see Rich Wyatt back in the DF Young boat.
Yep.
And
do you still need me up?
of course, a lot of action. You got the street party in Key West Friday night, where all the boats line Duval Street.
Thursday night, the big charity auction.
Yep. Speed on the Water has raised, nearly $1 million, if not over $1 million, over the last decade for local charities in Key West. Look again at GC Racing, still waiting to get enough water out of that boat to lift it and get it back onto shore.
They got some big pumps running. You can see the water running out just right above the cockpit there.
Yeah, listen forward. But yeah, it took on a lot of water, Eric. It's hard to know, huh? My goodness. That's a big open chasm inside that.
Oh,
deck.
yeah, up front, it's just all. No, but no, they should have a crash bulkhead forward of the. Because that Randy Sism builds in a whole safety cell.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that it's a full crash, deck to bottom bulkhead just in front of the drivers.
Are they just trying to lift the stern and make the water pull forward a little bit? Because, the bow's...
Yeah, the bow does look like it's full.
Yeah.
But,
take a look at Pothole Heroes. If you've never seen how these boats are put into the water or taken out, done by crane, especially built to match the straps and craned in and out of the water. Of course, so these boats weigh roughly 12,000 pounds. These Pro Class 1 boats.
They get weighed on the crane, the scales are on the crane.
We see our Monster Energy boys with Monster Energy drinks.
And Tristan.
Congratulations.
Tristan's right there trying to get with them. The X Insurance South looks like it's getting ready to go on the crane, and then they'll just bring in the other three. But I remember years ago I was at an unlimited hydroplane race in Evansville, Indiana, and Miss Budweiser was way out front. And I looked downriver, and you just barely saw a puff of ripple come across the water. Next thing you know, the boat's flying through the air. It's just, and they were so dominant, but it's just that fast, how quickly it happens. That's kind of there's always the unknown element with boats when you get them flying across the top of the water like that.
And that's exactly what they're doing. And it's not what we saw there was not uncommon.
No,
not at all. It happened all right. Looks like we have the winners of Pro Class 1 standing by with the third member of our team, Tristan Garvin, with the Monster Energy race team.
All right, guys, you brought home the checkered flag. How's it feel?
Speechless, honestly. From last place in time trials to second yesterday to bringing it home today, man, this Monster Energy team never quit, and so humbled, so proud. Great racing with all these Pro Class 1 guys. Couldn't be more stoked right now.
Really happy that Grant and Willie are all right. That was really weighing heavy on our hearts when we were waiting for them to get out. But, kudos to the team. Kudos to our fans. It's what we do it for. So,
Congratulations, guys. You looked great out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tyler Miller, Myrick Coyle, the Monster Energy race team victorious here on this Sunday in race 2 for Pro Class 1. And what excitement indeed. Of course, a little bit too much excitement as we look at Willie Cabeza with Randy Sism as they wait to get that boat up and onto the trailer. And they were poised to win this thing until the incident happened, the boat flipping over 4 laps into the second heat here and final race today in the X Insurance Clearwater Nationals. But now it's on to the award ceremony tonight at Marina Cantina, which will sort out the national points hunt, hand out the trophies from all the classes from the 2 days of racing. And then next, these teams will have you know, right at 4.5 weeks to get themselves down to the southernmost city in Key West.
Fuel 1.
And here's a recap of some of the actions we say so long from Clearwater, the 16th annual Clearwater Nationals event here, as we had exciting racing up and down the classes here on the waters of the Gulf and the sandy beaches of Clearwater for Tristan Garvin, for Eric Colby, and the entire crew here, the cameramen, the entire staff, the production team. Great job all the way around. This is Todd Swafford saying so long. We'll see you in Key West at the 44th annual Race World Offshore Key West Championships.
Your machine got you here, and the Maximus Quick Tire Inflation Kit will get you home. This compact tire filling kit comes with over 200 grams of CO2 for filling your motorcycle, side-by-side, and ATV tires. No batteries, no disappointment. The only US-made CO2 valve.
Insurance sucks, and we think so too. Why? Because traditional policies don't provide complete coverage, leaving you to deal with the holes and gaps. But not anymore. X Insurance's True Umbrella and True Homeowners are a true partner, covering any potential gaps and exclusions. With X Insurance's True Umbrella and True Homeowners policy, you will experience true insurance when compared to traditional policies. Contact us today or ask your agent about X Insurance.
To me, being a mountain guide is just the greatest opportunity to share my passion for skiing and climbing with people who are new to it. My main goal out there is to take care of and shepherd other people through the mountains, make sure that they don't get hurt, they don't get into trouble, guide them to places they always wanted to go but needed the skill set and knowledge of a guide to help them in accomplishing that goal. And then come back safe. No 2 days are ever the same in the mountains. Everything changes, the weather, the avalanche hazards. Not everything is really perfectly safeguarded. The mountains are an uncertain place. So it's a fine line, but I think when you can trust somebody and you do push them to a higher level, it's really rewarding. Ultimately, it's not a question of if any accident's ever going to happen if you're doing a lot of mountain guiding, but it's when. The knowledge that we have a really strong partner in our insurance company is essential. I'm helping my clients achieve great things in the mountains, achieve their goals in the mountains, and that's what X Insurance does for me. They were there for us when we needed them. They're providing an opportunity for us to go out and guide mountain climbing and backcountry skiing in the beautiful Wasatch Range, and that's something that I wouldn't feel comfortable at all doing without a great insurance company behind us. I know that I can trust them and I can go forward with confidence.
family first. That's just the way I look at it. And the family, my friends and employees are the ones that helped me get to what we are today. We are first responder, emergency roadside, major incidents, recovery incidents with the Highway Patrol, Department of Transportation, and our family and employees goes into a risk every day. There's no way that we can run a towing company without insurance. What I look for an insurance company is a company that can be partners with me and support when the unfortunate happens. Unfortunately, I did have a small incident last year. X Insurance got involved step by step, helped me how to get to it, pay the losses, make sure that I was secure, make sure that our equipment was correct, make sure that I was where I needed to be to go back to work. I didn't have to worry about nothing in my business because my insurance was handling the loss and it was right on top of the money. I can continue to worry about my business, worry about my staff, my family, and let the insurance do what they do best. As long as I stay in business, we will need insurance company.
At CJA Electric, we power the Tampa Bay area with dependable electrical solutions for residential, commercial, industrial, and marine projects. From dockside wiring and generator installs to businesses and homes, our licensed team delivers quality you can trust. As a company built on strong experience, we take pride in serving our community with cutting-edge electrical services. Whether it's a small repair, a full installation, or an emergency service, we're here to help. And right now, we're hiring. If you're a skilled electrician looking to join a fast-growing company, we want to hear from you. Contact us today or visit cjaelectric.com. Together, let's keep our community powered.